Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace. You gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted, and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience and the pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition they ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing yet. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. You gon' see the...
Yeah, head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They've been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We've been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair, took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. How with the gang we packing. We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so asleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoes, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need OG keep.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low key. We been sitting.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mafia, we got the push to the upside, baby. We got those longs slapping. Are we going to be able to make it up to 91K? Shout out to anybody who saw the market update that I dropped. I don't even know what time I dropped that at. Earlier today, we dropped the market update, guys, where we took a brief look at some of the key levels that I'm watching. Are we going to get that big move up to $91,000 to $91,300, where we have a doorway to much higher prices for Bitcoin? Are the higher time frames still looking bearish with the money flow coming out? Well, it's kind of a mixed bag on the higher time frames, to be quite honest with you guys. We have the 2-day money flow still coming out, but we also have a potential higher time frame market cipher B 116 strategy and a bullish setup at that, guys. Is that signal going to be able to push us up to higher prices? We're going to be breaking it all down in tonight's live stream. I would say I'm bullish, maybe for like a continuation up, but we are cautiously bullish, guys. As we know, those higher time frames do have money flow coming out, which could potentially lead to a lower high. So we're not just getting blindly bullish here. We're going to be assessing price action as it develops into these key levels. And hopefully, if we could get a lower high, we'll be able to catch a short position from that level in case we do get that big drop down. The Mafia is going to be making money whether price goes up or down. So shout out to the Candle Mafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being in here. Shout out to Candle Mafia's John Cena. What's going on? Said, here we go. Let's get it, baby. We got J. Cole in the chat. Shout out to J. Cole, one of my favorite artists. We got Uncle Jesse. He's our like police, guys. If he asks you to hit that like button, please listen to him. Every 100 likes we get gets you guys closer to winning some free crypto. We gave away a bunch of crypto on Friday, and we're going to continue to do these giveaways, guys. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we will give away... I don't know. Maybe we'll give away like a big bag of Cardano. Maybe we'll give away some Solana. We kind of switch it up every once in a while. Let's see. Shout out to Alex and Code Brown. Shout out to Alex, bro. Welcome in. We got Gen Z in the chat. We got Crypto Storm, Pennywise, everybody's favorite clown. Let's see. We got Captain Kirk, Darren Does Things, Rob the Crypto Snob, Crypto Anon, Crypto Billy, Tyler Durden. You guys know who the mods are. Show them some love in the chat if you did not say what's up to them just yet. Let's see. What are you guys thinking? We thinking up or down over the next couple of days? Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to see. We do have a poll here in the chat. Now what? Let's see. Nothing. This will retrace back 41%. Yeah, just like a little fake out pump to the downside before we get a bigger move down. We're going to talk about that in just a second here, guys. But let's see. We got Bison in the chat. We got Scott Watson said, I bet we cool off before pushing higher. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, guys. If we do cool off here, we do have a 4-hour red dot about to print with some 15-minute money flow coming out. Is that going to be able to give us a little bit more of a cool off here? I'm going to kind of go over that with you guys. Shout out to Biden said, I might need that Frankie Candles hat for my turkey. My turkey sits coming up in April. Let's go. Shout out to Bison. Am I tripping? What is a turkey sit? Is it? What the heck is a turkey sit? Somebody fill me in the chat, bro. What is a turkey sit? I've never heard of that in my life. Is that like a wall sit? Is that like a workout? What the heck is a turkey sit? Am I tripping? Am I the only person who doesn't know what a turkey sit is, or is that a what do they call them? Typo, or is it a typo? Let me know. But anyway, let's continue on here. Let's see. We got 9 to 5 and crypto content. What is going on? Say what up, Frankie. Hit the like on 2 accounts, mine and the wife's. Shout out for the lifers. Mafia, love the TA and appreciate your hard work. Shout out to the lifers and shout out to 9 to 5 and crypto content. I appreciate you for being here, bro. Let's see. Can you give your thoughts on? Shout out to H. Bardano. Shout out to you, bro. I haven't heard of that one yet. But he says, Frankie, can you give us your thoughts and opinions on the recent Crow Donald Trump ETF news? Yeah, we can take a look. We'll take a look at the Crow chart. We're going to take a look at the altcoins, guys. We're going to go over Bitcoin first, and then we'll move on into the alts. We'll take a look at ETH. We'll take a look at Ethereum. We'll take a look at the big boys, and then maybe we will take a look at we'll take a vote and see what you guys want to see. Shout out to Newbie Crypto said Queens NY in the house. Shout out to Newbie. Where you at in Queens, bro? Shout out to you, man. I got a lot of peeps out there. Shout out to you, man. Welcome in, fellow New Yorker in the chat. We got Pilot said, can you check out Toshi Coin? Yeah, we'll take some requests for some of the altcoins in just a minute. But without further ado, guys, let's see. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. Shout out to Justin, and I think that's about it. Yeah, let's go ahead and break down the charts here, guys, and go ahead and dive in here and see if we can figure out Bitcoin's next move. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, here we are, guys. Here we are. All right, let's see what we got going on. So first off, guys, if you did not see the market update that I dropped a little bit earlier today, we went over some of the key levels that I will be looking at. Obviously, guys, I'm going to go over the higher time frames very briefly because we do have some potential signals on the higher time frames that could be pointing to higher prices. Now, you don't want to forget, guys, 2-day money flow coming to the downside is not the best sign, right? Now, obviously, this could potentially fake out, but, again, I don't want to beat the dead horse here. We've talked about this so much, but 2-day money flow in the red, that's still not the greatest, right? We want to see that come up into the green, and we don't want like a fake out into the green and a move back into the red. We want this to come up in a very big way, and we must break these lower highs that we have on money flow, right? So I would say once this starts to crack above about 10 here on the oscillator on Market Cipher B, once we start cracking above 10 here over this lower high, that is kind of what I want to see. We want to see this come up in a big way, not just some kind of like willy-nilly, like wah, wah, and a little money flow flop, as we would call it. But yeah, overall, from a binary perspective, this is with money flow coming out on the 2-day. This would make us anticipate a potential move to the upside for a potential lower high and a continuation down. This is still in the cards. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we can just get up in here. We're going to break down everything for you guys tonight. But just keep in mind, 2-day money flow still in the red, still not necessarily completely out of the woods. So keep that in mind. Daily money flow starting to curve up here just a little bit. But what I really want to look at with you guys is I want to take a look at this weekly time frame. Now, as you guys can see here, we do have a weekly green dot potentially looking to print here in the next 6 days and 3 hours. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of time for this to potentially kind of just invalidate, but this is coming up, and this is a better sign than any to see a potential continuation up here. And as you guys know, we have been looking for a potential bigger retracement to the upside, not necessarily a big shot into all-time highs, but we've been talking about ever since we started getting the 3-day, the 4-day, and the 5-day green dots here. You can see the 4-day green dot is now confirmed. Got another day and 3 hours. It is confirmed, but we have another day and 3 hours for another candle to print here. We have the 5-day green dot printing, the 6-day green dot looking to print, and then obviously the weekly that we just looked at is looking to print a green dot. And we knew that if that green dot if these green dots were going to confirm on the higher time frames, we might be able to get a little bit more of a retracement here, but we are not just going to get blindly bullish because we're pumping here, guys. We have to be careful of lower highs on the next key levels of resistance, which we are going to cover a little bit later in the stream. But that's kind of the gist of things, right? We had the high time frame green dots. We also, one of the things that we were looking at last week was the 4-hour money flow crossover into the green. And when we started seeing this crossover into the green, we knew that there was probably going to be some possibility of a continuation of the trend to the upside. Now, you guys can see we are kind of just ranging around here in this like ascending channel. You could call it a bear flag, call it an ascending channel, whatever you want. But the 4-hour money flow was kind of letting us know that, like, hey, we may be able to continue this trend to the upside. And if we get those higher time frame green dots, we might actually be able to get a little bit bigger of a retracement to come in here. But again, a lot of people, right? Like, let's not forget, a lot of people, we're calling bear market down here. Now, again, is it the bear market? Who knows? Like I said, guys, when we look at this, when we get a retracement to the upside, this is really where you want to pay attention, because all the people who were saying that this is the bear market, this is your chance, right? And again, I do not fall in the camp that this is the bear market. Obviously, I've talked about this a million times. My sentiment remains the same. I do not think this is a traditional 4-year bear market. I don't know why people would think that down here. Fact that we are above the highs here. Now, again, is it impossible? No, but we need a little bit more on the chart. This drop down to 80K was for no reason for alarm. And ever since we were bing-bonging up here, before the drop down, we actually anticipated this based off the low volume gap below us, and we knew that once we got down here that the sentiment was going to be absolutely trash. Everybody was going to be bearish. Everybody was going to think it was the bear market, and that is exactly what we saw. So just keep in mind here, if you think it's the bear market, guys, this is your opportunity to get out of the market if we come into a retracement, because if you think it's the bear market, you would be thinking that you're either going to reject where we're at now at this value area low, or maybe even the golden pocket 786. So on these retracements, if you really are concerned, now again, not necessarily what I think. Even if we do get a retracement here for a lower high and a lower low, and we do come down to some of these lower targets, I still wouldn't necessarily call a bear market like guaranteed, right? But if you do think that, I just want to, like, for anybody who really thinks this is a bear market and you're terrified and you're super underwater on your alts or whatever it is, or even Bitcoin if you bought up at the top, just understand that on this move up, don't get FOMO bullish, right? This is your opportunity for a potential retracement, and if you think that lower high is going to come in for a massive bear market down to zero, like everybody felt down here, understand all eyes on the money flow right now, because if we approach these key levels, guys, and this money flow continues to the downside, such as the 2-day, right? This is indicating, money flow indicates the overall trend, right? So if this money flow continues out, we are going to be anticipating lower highs, lower lows, whether it comes in here at the value area low or the golden pocket, maybe even the 786. These are kind of the biggest levels of resistance, and I will go a little bit deeper into those in just a minute. But On the higher time frames, guys, the real big thing I want to look at, 2 days still looks kind of like trash with money flow until that comes back into the green. But if we take a look at the weekly time frame here, guys, with that green dot printing, shout out to anybody who saw the market update earlier, 10-hour money flow crossover into the green. Now, this does not mean, right, this is technically a market cipher B116 strategy. We have the weekly green dot and not printing just yet, right? But it is getting very close, right? We're very, very close to printing that green dot. Once we print that green dot on the weekly, the 10-hour money flow could indicate the overall continuation of that trend. Again, potentially giving us that bigger retracement that we've been looking at based off these higher daily time frame green dots. And if we push up here, we have a lot of really big targets that we want to be looking at, not only locally within this local price action, but also on the higher time frames. So this is, if I had to give something like some kind of bullish news, right? Shout out to, I forgot who said it. Was it Gen Z? I forgot who said it. Somebody said, Frankie, Trump called. He wants you to pump Bitcoin. Flick the switch. If you guys want that big push up, this is kind of what I would look at, right? We need this. Again, it's a little early here, right? We just got the money flow crossover. VWAP is coming down. This could easily get stepped on, but this is somewhat of a good sign, right? And we don't even have the weekly green dot yet, but once we start to print it, this is what I'm going to be looking for that green dot to print, right? Have that 10-hour money flow come back into the green, and at that point, right, that could give us the bigger continuation to the upside. Now, what happens in the meantime? How big can a pullback be? We're going to talk about that as well, kind of where I'm looking for some bounces, and we'll talk about all those key levels down below. But overall, guys, on the higher time frames, weekly, green dot, 10-hour money flow crossover into the green. That is a market cipher B, 1/16th bullish setup that could potentially give us that continuation up. So again, we'll cover the higher targets in just a minute, but that's kind of the higher time frames, guys. Everything really remains the same. 2-day money flow, still looking like trash. But maybe, right, the only way that I personally think that we can like come on over here and send it to all-time highs, like I want to kind of like, I know we're pumping, right? But I want to keep it realistic. My center remains the same exact thing as it was back here. If we start pumping, just be aware, everybody, just like they thought this was the bear market, everyone's like, oh my God, it's all over. This time's different. It's all over. When we come up here, if we come up here, everybody is going to be saying the opposite. They're going to be saying, oh my God, all-time highs incoming, all-time highs incoming. And I'm just saying, if we come up there and there are not bearish signals, we can look at that as, well, hey, maybe we can continue up. But if there are bearish signals, guys, up here at key resistance, I am going to be looking for shorts, right? Regardless of what people think online, but regardless of what Twitter says, regardless of what the comments say, no matter what, if we come up here and we get the technical signals in the premium Discord, we are going to be looking for shorts up here because we are not getting blinded by the green candles, right? Now, although this wasn't really that big of a green candle, just understand, if we pump up here, guys, just like we had you prepared for this bearish sentiment down here, and we saw that happen, the same thing will happen on the way up. And what happens? Even if it is a bear market, everyone gets bearish at the lows, where you should be looking for longs, right? That's what we do. When everyone's bearish, we look for longs. Not that I use that as a metric, like, oh my God, everyone's bearish, start looking for longs. But if I have key levels and reasons to be looking for long positions, and I hear everybody being very bearish, it kind of gives me a little bit more confidence into those long positions, right? So just keep that in mind. Just like everyone was getting bearish down here, people are going to get mega bullish up here. That does not mean that price is going to continue up. If it is, if the charts say that price will likely continue up, I will be the first person to let you know. And it will be based off the charts, not just because we're excited over green candles. So keep that in mind. Let's see. I'm the bearish guy who thinks we are in official bear market. Shout out to Gen Z. Hey, bro, you could wind up being right. Just because I think we're not in a bear market, right? Not a lot of influencers will tell you this. They'll be like, I know everything, right? Not me, right? You could wind up being right. At the end of the day, I could be wrong, and we could be in a full-blown bear market. Gen Z, if you think that, act according to what you think, right? You can take my analysis into account, obviously, in the premium Discord. Shout out to Gen Z. He's been in the premium for quite some time. But you could be right, bro. I might be wrong, right? Not a lot of people will have the humility to say that. We are right more than we're wrong, obviously. But who knows, right? Maybe we do go into a traditional bear market. As you guys know, I do think it has a lot to do with QE coming in. If we don't get QE, probably going to get delayed, right? We're probably not going to see that blow off, next big blow off move until we get QE, right? Or, maybe we start to grind up, leading into that. I do kind of think we're a slave to that macroeconomic policy. I don't know. The monetary policy is really going to kind of, in my opinion, start off the next big move. But, we'll see what happens. We have to assess the price action as it develops. And we're going to break down these local levels as well. So there you go. Higher time frames. Watch that 2-day money flow. It is still in the red. Remember, that indicates the overall trend, right? So we could get little ebbs and flows to the upside, right? 2-day green dot prints, you get a little pop up. 3-day green dot print, 4-day green dot prints, you can get a little pop to the upside. But again, money flow, if it continues out, will indicate the overall trend of the market, right? So we're long right now, right? We are holding our long position from lower, which is beautiful, but we are being very cautious with that, anticipating potential lower highs and lower lows. Doesn't guarantee, right? This is not Frankie Candle saying, sell now, we're going to zero, right? We could continue up. We're going to go over that in a minute. But just keep in mind, right? Money flow is goated. We talked about this on the daily. I show this every single day. Daily money flow crosses over into the red here. This is where we anticipate another move down. We bing bong sideways for like 2 weeks. We even push up. Everyone's like, what the heck happened to the money flow? It winds up playing out, right? And then we say, don't get super bearish down here. Everyone's going to feel really bad. We get bullish. Everyone gets bearish. And we get the little pop to the upside, right? So just trading the charts, guys. It's not because I'm a genius. It's not because I have some secret indicator that I don't share with you guys. It's just the way we do. We just follow the charts. And they just happen to be right more often than they're not. And more often than not is not 100% of the time, guys. Sometimes the charts are wrong, so just keep that in mind. But let's see. What is the BTC level for a break of the structure? Shout out to Mike Vito, my paisan. Welcome in, bro. What do you think about auction? Shout out to Matt. We talked about auction on Friday, and I screamed at the top of my lungs, do not FOMO in at the top. Hopefully nobody did, because we wound up coming down right from where we were pumping at. We'll take a look at auction, because I had some key levels. We did just come down to a daily naked point of control. Let's see. Thank you so much for doing this every day. Your analysis and videos have helped me so much. Shout out to Generate. Thank you for saying that, bro. That's why we do it, baby. We do it to help the Candle Mafia. And again, I will never come up here and tell you guys I think things are going to $1 million if I don't genuinely believe that, right? I only go off the charts. As a matter of fact, I shorted auction. Yo, shout out to Kellephant. That's a fire name. Shout out to Kellephant. Nice job. There's also a bull div there on Momentum Wave, sir. Shout out to Crypto 101. Yeah, and we do have the daily bull div into our key level of support. This is something This is something that we were looking at as we were approaching this key Fibonacci retracement from this swing low, where it got impulsive, all the way to the high, right? And then we say, hey, if that money flow crosses over into the red, obviously this is something we've been waiting for. If money flow crosses over into the red on the daily, guys, we could anticipate the continuation of our trend with low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, potentially, right? We'll take a look at that in just a minute. But hopefully, guys, I don't want anyone to think that I want Bitcoin to go down, right? That is not the case at all, right? I want Bitcoin to go up. Hopefully, if we could come up here and things look bullish, right? We don't get the money flow continuing out. We could flip some key levels. We could see the money flow turn around. Some of the indicators turn around. Maybe we can get a push to the upside. But until the charts say that, I have to stick with this general sentiment of money flow continuing down and indicating the overall trend, which could potentially give us something like that. And I'll keep you guys updated here every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or even earlier in the day with some market updates. But yeah, with a nice bullish divergence down here on the daily, which is something we were looking at, even the 2-day bull div as well, which is just another reason why, like, even if this is a bear market and we are going to go down to 30K, say, wherever, we wind up dumping down to 30K, right? Like, it's very unlikely that it's going to happen in a straight line. We figured we would have some kind of a chance to get some kind of a retracement. But as we push into these levels, guys, this is where we want to pay attention, right? We talked about 2021, where we got that little retracement up here, right, to put in a lower high. It wound up rejecting a local Fibonacci golden pocket retracement, right? So there's no guarantee that you come up to the full retracement level. And again, I don't think we're in that scenario, but I have to be open to it, right? Because if I'm wrong, I have to be able to notice that and shift my sentiment, right? Because I want to capitalize on the move down if it's going to happen. If we're going into a bear market, guys, I want to short the dang thing, right? So there's no guarantee we get up to that golden pocket, which in the current price action would be around here, the golden pocket at about 96 to 97K. We have a couple of levels between 96 and 97K, but that golden pocket, that would be the full retracement. But we have to be careful around the local retracements as well, right? Pulled from these lower highs, because we don't know if we're going to get that full push up into the full, we don't know if we're going to get that full retracement into the full golden pocket, right? We might reject a local level, which is why we're going to go down lower time frame and kind of talk about what we're looking for here. But overall, guys, we got the 4-hour money flow back in the green. We got the high time frame green dots, and we're seeing that retracement. And that is all this is until proven otherwise. If we get up here, we get bullish, right? We could look to hold the longs, maybe look for some new positions on the way up. If we think we're going to go to all-time highs, we will see something on the charts, and we will make money off of that. But if we come up here, money flow comes out, very simply put, lower highs and lower lows would be the more high probability situation, and we are going to capitalize on that as well. And even if this happens, guys, even if this happens, we put a lower high in and another lower low, That doesn't even guarantee a bear market either, right? It's going to be really hard, right? Like that's not enough to confirm a bear market either, because we might just want to come down, retest these highs, play around with our POC down here at about $68,000, and then send it off to higher prices. Again, we're going to have to see what the Fed decides to do and how they handle that whole situation, because I really do think that is going to be the thing that moves the market. But we also had traditional markets getting a bounce today, so we'll just enjoy the bullishness. We'll keep an eye on that weekly green dot with the 10-hour money flow crossover into the green, and maybe it could continue to push us up to those levels. So I want to go lower time frame with you guys and talk about kind of what we're looking at locally here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. Let me just check in on chat, make sure nobody's asking any questions. Shout out to Crypto 101 said, you're watching this masterclass and still not smashing this like button. What's wrong with you? Shout out to Crypto 101. Go ahead and smash that like button, guys. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, I will give away this dirty, used coffee cup with old cold coffee in it. Nice and cold. 94 would put 96 would put lobster in my ramen. Let's go. Shout out to Dusty Hunt. Let's go, baby. Let's get that lobster ramen going. Did I miss XRPTA? No, you did not, my friend. Shout out to Rocks. What about the two-month red dot? That's a great question, right? This is very similar to kind of how we looked at. Yeah, I mean, 2-month red dot. Let's pull it up. Bada boom, right? 2-month red dot printing. I mean, here's the thing, right? Just because we don't think the bull market is over does not mean that we can't get more pain, right? And this is why I'm going to be careful, guys. In my opinion, right? Like, it is not about saying the bear market's here, that's it, it's over, snipe the top. It's not a lot of the time. It's not what you're able to do, right? You have to really let things play out, because here's the thing: if we continue up, right? More specifically, just so I can cover this a little bit more in detail. More specifically, if we get a push up into this value area low, which I think, this would probably happen sooner than later. If we do get up there, I think it'll be pretty quick. But if we get up to this golden pocket, guys, and we start, at that point, we have the green dot printing, the VWAPs rolling over, our weekly money flow is about to cross into the red, that would be a pretty bad sign for a continuation to the upside. At this point, right, what you're hoping for on these higher time frames, like even the 2-day, like really what you're hoping for is a fake out, right? You need this to come big time into the green for a fake out into the red and a big move into the green. But if that 2-month red dot prints, it's the same thing as the monthly red dot, right? This doesn't necessarily mean bear market, right? We get red dots on the monthly, and it doesn't always call the bear market, right? Back here, we had a monthly red dot, big pullback, right? We get another monthly red dot, we get the pullback, right? And this was also a bearish divergence, right? We had higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves with the red dot. And we look at this, right? We had a weekly bear div here as well, I believe. And, we look at that as like, hey, we could get a cool off, right? And that's why I was open to getting a push down to the golden pocket 786 retracement down here, right? That's why we didn't freak out when we got down here. We were actually looking for longs. It's because we anticipated this far before the move happened, right? And it has everything to do with money flow. It has everything to do with actually just looking at the charts alone, right? So, when we look at this, right, 2-month red dot could potentially give us more downside. And at the end of the day, we could see so many things play out here, guys. It is never as easy as just saying bear market, wrap it up, see you next time, right? It's never that easy. Some people will make you believe it was that easy, right? Back here, low-key, everybody thought this was the bear market, right? Then everybody thought we were going to 100K. Then everybody was like, no, this is a higher low. We're going to 100K. I was here. I remember this. Everyone thought 30K was the floor. Oh, my God, higher low, 100K incoming. That is not what we were seeing on the charts, right? Could we have gotten a rip up to 100K? Sure. Right? Like, that could have happened. I'm open to that, right? I'm not someone who says whatever I see on the charts has to happen. I have enough experience to understand that that's never the case, right? You always have to be open to both sides. And that's why we're able to profitably trade these charts, right? Whether price goes up or down. It's because we're not just saying only up or only down. That's the answer that everybody wants. Is it going up or is it going down? Just tell us, right? And the simple answer is that nobody wants to tell anyone is it's not that simple, right? But same thing here, right? Like, very likely this rejection is not enough to just call for the bear market, right? Very likely, if this is a bear market, we could see something like this, where we come up, right? Come in here, maybe we go to the 786. Everyone thinks we're breaking out. Everyone that was calling this the bear market is calling this the bull market, right? And then you get a big rejection back down. But at the end of the day, guys, with that 2-month red dot, we might get that weekly green dot to push us up here, right? and then we could get a little bit more pain. We could lose these lows again. We could come down to the 70,000. Let me pull these levels up physically so you guys can see them. Come on down to the $72,000 to $70,000 levels. We have that POC at 68K. We also have a lot of liquidity down here. You could come back down here and then send it back to the upside. There's so many different ways this could play out. It's just never going to be that simple to look at the chart and be like, "Yep, bearish hype. That's the bear market," right? It's never that easy. And to be quite honest, you don't have to be able to do that in order to make money trading, right? But that's all I'm going to say on the higher time frames. Just be aware. 2-day money flow coming out. Hopefully the weekly green dot and the 10-hour money flow crossing into the green can kind of just continue to push us up. And then once we get up to these key levels of resistance, if we're able to make it up to 96, 97, we could look at this and say, hey, are we seeing a lot of strength, or is this looking like a dead cat bounce for a lower high and lower low? And very likely there will be signs on the chart at that point. And we'll assess the situation when we get there, because as the price action gives us new information, we have to take that into consideration. If it looks super bullish here, I'm not going to sit up here and be like, well, money flow was coming out and now it's not, but I still think it's going to go down because that's what we originally thought, right? Like, how crazy would that be, right? You have to say, hey, indicators are turning around. Money flow's coming back up. This looks good for a continuation up. Hold the longs, add to the longs, and send it up to new all-time highs, right? So we're just bringing the information on the chart. But with that being said, let's go down to the lower time frames. 2-day money flow coming out. Weekly green dot with the 10-hour money flow crossover is what we're looking at to potentially see the continuation up. Now, locally, let's pull up. Let me hide this. We'll get rid of that golden pocket 786. Shout out to Fabian, said we did reject the value area low for now, just extending the volume profile to the current price. Would you check? Thanks, Frankie. Yeah, shout out to Fabian. So I assume you're probably looking at this volume profile all the way to the current price action. I still show it front ran here. The level that I am looking at is going to be the previous profile here. Do I have this? There we go. The previous profile, right? I am going to continue to look at this as a previous profile with the value area low sitting closer to $91,000, right? So yeah, you can look to the current range, right? That's totally fine, right? But we had lost balance here. We have come to imbalance, right? So I am going to kind of hold this off and only look at this as a previous volume profile, right? Value area low, again, about $91,000. And I'm going to show you some compliments that we looked at on the market update that makes this a very, very key level of support. And honestly, on the higher time frames, guys, simply put, this is the next big key level of resistance. It's sitting between $91,000 and $91,300. It's the value area low. It's also our current range, right? This current range. Where is it? Previous range, right? Which is the same range, just not pulled to current price action. I'll bring this back up, but shout out to Fabian. Yeah, me personally, the way I have this pulled, I do not see us hitting the value area low just yet. We're getting pretty close. It drops the value area low a little lower than what I'm looking at, but I am going to continue to look at the previous volume profile because of this imbalance that we saw. This is the area of balance. This imbalanced price action, I do not want involved in this calculation of the balanced area, right? This was where price was balanced. We got imbalance, right? I do not want to incorporate this. Doesn't mean that it's wrong to look at the current price, the current volume profile. I want to be clear about that. Does not mean it's wrong. But I personally, the way I use them, I would be looking up here. And that's just the way I'm doing when we talk about this, that's how I'm going about it, just so you guys know, so you're not looking at the wrong levels. But shout out to Fabian. Yeah, it does drop it down when you pull it to the current price action. Shout out to Karen. I think that's how you say that. Do you offer a class? I am new to trading and I don't understand half of what you're saying. Shout out to Karen. Yeah. This YouTube channel, if you are just starting out, this YouTube channel is basically a free trading course, at least a free beginner's trading course. You could check our beginner series out where I break down pretty much everything. If you watch through our whole beginner series, it'll get you up to speed with what we talk about on the live stream. So you can start marking up your charts and understanding and having a good idea where price is going to go next. You're never going to be right 100% of the time, obviously, but go through the YouTube channel. I do have a premium Discord where we get a little bit deeper into the education, but I wouldn't even recommend that as a complete beginner. Start off with the free stuff. Learn as you go through all the free stuff on YouTube, and then when you feel ready to take it to the next level, then you could join into the premium Discord where I share all my personal trade setups. But yeah, a little dumpy. So yeah, shout out to the premium Discord. Just let the premium Discord let them know. I did take a scalp short here, by the way. Let me see if I can pull this up. Still holding my long position, guys, up about $4,500 on that. But I did just take a scalp short position with the premium Discord, or let them know a little bit of a riskier situation here. But I did take that aggressive short entry up here for that anticipated drop to the downside, up about 591. Not too shabby for a late night or a late day trade. Up 654, just like that, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Over on Femex, guys. By the way, Femex is helping us give away some free premium Discord months, right? Free 1 month premium Discord memberships for the CandleMafia if you are signed up with our Femex affiliate link. More information on that in the Discord. Go to the Discord, go to the dining room, and then there you'll see the instructions there to get in. But yeah. Not too shabby. So yeah, I am holding my long position. Let's go into the local price action here, just so I can. I kind of got stuck on the higher time frames. It's hard not to talk about because I know a lot of people are like, is that it? Like, is the bear market over? It's like, it's very important to understand exactly what's going on here. But let's take a look at these local levels, right? So number one, you guys know there's a few different ranges that we have been looking at. I am holding my long position from down here, right? This is a long position that we had taken in the premium Discord in the context of this local range. I took this, took some profit on the way up, moved my stop loss to break even, and I am now just continuing to hold this. And last week on the live stream, you guys will know, obviously we came from the low, went to the high, back into the range, back to the low, back to the high. And then, once we started breaking out here, we started to look at a little bit of a bigger range, right? And that bigger range was sitting right here. And let me hide the scalp profile. And last week on the live stream, as we were pushing down here on Friday, we were talking about how, hey, I might be looking to add to my long position. I could pull up the long position as well here over on Blowfin. So there you go. $2,000 locked in, $2,397 on realized. So I am going to continue to let this play out just a little bit, but I am personally, right? I was looking to add to my position here, guys, and I got to be honest with you. I got to be frank with you, right? This is, no pun intended, I was hoping that we were going to come a little deeper. I did not add to my long position, but not really that big of a deal because we were already holding this from lower, and it's continuing to pay me out anyway. It's just not as big of a position as it would have been, obviously, if I added to the position. But we also had a long setup here for anybody who was not in a long or still holding the long position from down here in the premium Discord. We did have that long setup here to potentially get that move targeting the value area high of the range. And this is just in general, guys, the range I'm looking at. We have our value area low. Once we get above this range, right, we flip that value area low to support. We break the POC. Once you hold the value area low, you know that next stop is going to be the POC, right? More likely than not, that next stop is going to be the POC. Once you get above that POC and we can stay above that level, that is where we could potentially begin our journey up to the value area high. This is the beauty of the volume profiles, guys. And very simply put, the laws of the volume profile, once you hold the low, the next likely place for price to go is the POC. And once you flip that POC to support, the next likely place for price to go is the value area high. And we did not hit that value area high just yet, but it is always going to be a journey. And as we looked at on the market update, guys, make sure you have notifications set and you're subscribed to the channel, because if you miss these market updates, you might miss the move here. Because even on the market update, we were looking for a potential retracement to the downside based off a very, very specific signal, which was that 4-hour red dot. And we knew if we were going to get that red dot on the 4-hour and we have our 15-minute money flow crossing over into the red or about to cross into the red, that might be what gives us a little bit of a cool-off. And we're going to talk about those key levels we looked at earlier today for the cool-off to come down to and where I will be looking for potential bounces. But the general idea here, guys, is a 4-hour VWAP rolls over, gives us the red dot, money flow comes out on the 15-minute. That's what we were looking at earlier today for the cool-off. But as long as we're able to continue putting in higher lows, right, and as long as we remain above this POC, the anticipated next major target is going to be $89,500 at this value area high of the range. I don't want to make it super, super confusing for everybody. I know looking at all these levels, the Fibonacci retracements, the value area high, the value area low, the POC, the anchored VWAP, the daily naked point of control, the weekly levels. Frankie, what the heck is going on? There's so many levels on the chart. But just to simplify things, guys, to look at it in a simple manner, I'll even get rid of this. I wanted to keep this on the chart, this blue box, just because this is what we were looking at last week, right? We were looking at, hey, we're down here, might be able to get a bounce. If we continue up, we would look to break structure to the upside, eventually targeting the value area high. And remember, we don't always get the instant shots from the high to the low or the low to the high. Oftentimes, it is a messy and confusing journey. And I would say sometimes you don't even get to the value area high, but it is extremely rare. in my experience, right? This is just my raw experience. It is extremely rare that you get this close to a value area high and you just don't hit it. But it does happen. It's not impossible, right? Obviously. But very, very clean. So I'm going to get rid of this. The reason we were looking for the bounce here, guys, is simply put, from the low to the high. We have our money flow coming up. We had our money flow coming up on a lot of different time frames, right? But when you have that, you have your 4-hour money flow crossover into the green. This makes you anticipate the continuation of that trend. Money flow indicates the overall trend, right? The overall trend. The red dots and the green dots give you the ebbs and the flows in the market, right? So when you see this money flow coming up like this tells us, hey, if we cool off, I'm going to be anticipating a continuation of the trend. And what is the trend right now? It would be to the upside because the money flow is crossing into the green. We use that money flow as a filter. It's a very simple way to kind of look at the market through a filter of if you should be looking for longs or if you should be looking for shorts. And when you have 4-hour money flow coming into the green like that, you're ever since right here, right? Your anticipation is, well, hey, if we pull back, that's fine, but I will be looking for the overall trend to continue because that red dot will likely cool you off, but that money flow being in the green makes you anticipate the continuation to the upside, right? It's the same thing here. 4-hour red dot, we're also pretty overbought here, to be honest. 4-hour red dot could give you a pull to the downside, but if this money flow stays in the green, we are going to be looking for higher lows and higher highs, right? So I'm kind of anticipating something like this. I'm going to go over some of the key local levels of support, but that's why we were looking at this golden pocket POC as a key level to get a bounce from, right? Because if we're looking for a higher low, where's that higher low very likely to come in at? Your golden pocket, 786 Fibonacci retracement. Where's it come in at? Right on that golden pocket. And you have the POC there as well. So if I get rid of this, right, you can just see in the terms of the volume profile, you're just looking at this as, well, hey, undervalued asset, look for longs down here. Once you get back in, hold the low, get above the POC, hold the POC, start to go towards the high, right? The volume profile will always work going value area low, POC, value area high. Get accepted back into the range, look to go back to the POC, lose the POC, look to go back down to the value area low. This is how we trade, right? This is like the bread and butter of this strategy. But either way, next key level, $89,500, right? Let me go ahead and pull up some of the fibs here as well. Let's see. Okay, so let's pull some fibs here as well. Let me go ahead and hide this, pull this into our upper range. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so if we pull some of our Fibonacci retracements here, you can see, as we talked about in the market update earlier, we are coming up to the golden pocket retracement. This is resistance, right? So not impossible to get a cool off there, especially with the red dot on the 4-hour. And look at that 15-minute money flow. 15-minute money flow, cruise into the downside. If this crosses into the red at the same time as that 4-hour red dot, you could anticipate the 15-minute trend to continue to the downside. But then that begs the question, where are we looking for the bounce back up to the value area high? And I will talk about this next target, obviously 91,000 to 91,300. This is a huge level on the chart, guys. But I want to break down this first, right? If we do get the cool off, one of the bigger levels that I will be looking at, let's pull up the 1-hour time frame, right? I am going to be looking, let me actually pull up the anchored VWAPs as well. We have this anchored VWAP coming in at about $85,600, right? $650, right? This is sitting at $85,650. And if we pull our, pull this Fibonacci retracement, right? So there's a few different levels I'm going to be watching. First off, for this little short position that I've taken just before the stream, I am going to be looking to potentially look to ride this down to this local golden pocket sitting at about $86,700, right? It starts at about 86.7, right? Down to the 786 at about 86.2, right? So this is kind of that first level of support that I will be looking at, right? So if my short position does continue to play out, I will be looking at this as our next key level of support, right? Because we might, depending on what the price looks like, what the price action looks like down here, we could come down. And where are we looking for higher lows and where are we looking for the higher lows at? Golden pocket 786. This is the most local retracement that I would be looking at. And this is also confluent with a daily level, right? This is a tapped daily that we might want to come and flip to support. So this is 100%. This is 100% going to be the level that I'm looking at, right? We have the tap daily, which we may want to flip into support, right? Break above it, come down, flip it to support, and also look to hold that golden pocket 786. That is zone number 1. This is sitting between 86,756 and 86,188. This is the same level we looked at on the market update, which is why I say turn on notifications, guys, because all this, we looked for all this to happen on the market update a little while or earlier today, and now we're just seeing it play out. But that's going to be key level number 1 that I will be interested in a potential bounce. Now, if we do not hold that level, if we come on down here, right, we lose the 786, there is one more level I'm looking at. That's where the anchored VWAP comes in at about $85,600. And if we pull our Fibonacci from the low to the high, you can see this is also confluent with the anchored VWAP and golden pocket, right? And this is sitting at about 85.6. And then your 786 does come down to about 84.6, right? So these are kind of the major levels that I'm looking at, right? I would love a bit of a bigger pullback. I don't know if we're guaranteed to get it. Very similar to when we got the pullback here where I look to add to my position. Sometimes you just don't pull back as deep as you want, right? Otherwise, I would have added to this position a little bit more, but we just didn't. We just came down into that golden pocket and got the bounce. So it's very important to keep all of these levels on your chart. This is zone number 1. I'll be looking for a bounce, and if we do continue the uptrend, right? Now, Frankie, why are you anticipating an uptrend to continue? Remember, 4-hour money flow crossing into the green, or in the green. Right? We have the red dot printing, which could give us an ebb or flow to the downside, but that money flow being in the green would make us anticipate the continuation of the trend, right? And it played out beautifully from last week, right? Money flow crosses into the green right here. We get the cool off, higher low, higher high for the break of structure to the upside. Same thing here. 4-hour red dot prints. We get the little cool off. I'll be looking for a bounce here for a break of structure to the upside into the value area high. And if we slip a little lower, I will be looking down there. Once you start losing the 786, I'll kind of be sitting on my hands at that point, just because, I mean, the short will be absolutely paying us out at that point. However, once you lose this 786, the next real key level is honestly the POC of the range. It's not impossible, right, to kind of just bing bong around here, right? Like again, it's always going to be a journey to the value area high, right? So you come up, you come down, you lose these levels, bounce back off the POC, come back up, right? But as long as you remain above this POC for the most part, the doorway to the value area high is going to be open. Do we have confluence on the value area high? Let's pull another fib here real quick. I'm sorry, on the POC is where I'm looking. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd have some kind of confluence down there, but at the end of the day, you really want to hold this low. I would really much prefer getting a bounce off one of those earlier levels. But that's simply what I'm going to be looking at, guys. And I want to talk about some of these upper targets. Value area high sitting at $89,500. This is the next major level to the upside. And then once we break out of here, if we're able to come up here, flip this value area high to support, next key level is going to be the 786 sitting at $91,115. This is really the big level to watch, in my opinion, right? Obviously, this is a big target. If we break here, that's the next stop, right? I will be taking some more profits on the long if we do get down there, or up there, I should say. But if we pull up our previous volume profile here, it's a little confusing, right? And the reason for this is because we have a previous profile, which ends right here on March 9th, and then we also have a current profile that is pulled a little bit more to the updated price action, right? These targets remain exactly the same. I'm going to hide the fib here just to clean things up. This value area high at 89.5, whether you're looking at the current range or the previous range, the targets remain the same. The only difference is that on the previous range, the POC is 89.5, right? Right here. Point of control, 89.5. On the current range, 89.5 is the value area high. So I'm going to continue to look at the current range right now. If we get the push, whether we cool off first or not, into the value area high. Once we start breaking out of here, this is where I say, okay, we're breaking out of the current range. Let me hide that and look at our previous range. Now I'm looking for the value area high 786, which is sitting at $91,100. It's also confluent with the 786 Fibonacci retracement of this golden pocket that we're rejecting, right? So if we put in a higher low, get above the golden pocket, that is going to call for a potential move into that 786. Once you get above the golden pocket, the next likely place for price to go based off Fibonacci retracement theory, I guess you could call it, would be the 786, right? That's just the way I look at it. And then this is really the big level, guys. And the reason for that is because that is confluent with our upper range, right? The value area low of our upper range, which is obviously going to be our doorway to higher prices, right? You have the 786, the value area high, and the value area low. This is a huge level because if we can get back up there, not only is this going to be resistance until proven otherwise, right? Maybe we bing bong around in this range a little bit. Hopefully not. That would be super boring. But once we get up here, guys, and we start flipping this level to support, this could open the door to start the journey again. Starting over with our volume profiles, we are now looking at it as this was a deviation, but this was a deviation below our volume profile, right? You come back up, flip this to support. Once you hold that value area low as support, where is the next likely place for price to go? Shout out to Creighton C. He says the POC, right? It's going to be up here near the macro golden pocket retracement, POC. We also have 2 daily levels in there, and I believe we also have a daily naked point of control up in there as well. So just to clear up the charts, I don't want to give you guys too much noise or too many levels to look at. From a simple standpoint, regardless of confluence, right? I'm not going to mark out every level of confluence right this second, but locally, we are looking at our current range. Pullback, if we get the pullback off the 4-hour red dot, which we already are, and we put in a higher low and we do continue up, 89.5 is the next target to the upside. Once we break 89.5, that is where we start looking at the older range with the value area high at $91,000, right? And then that is, again, going to be the big zone, right? And if you want to look at it in terms of this, because both targets are on this range, POC being 89.5, value area high being 91K, you could just look at it like this. Hey, we're above the value area low. As long as we can continue staying above that value area low, the next likely place for price to go is the POC. Flip the POC, go to the value area high, and then once we break out of here, that's where we are looking to get accepted into our upper range, potentially targeting the macro golden pocket, right, / POC. And then this is going to be massive level to look at. This could be a potential swing short opportunity. Potential, assuming things look bearish up here. So there you go. That is what we're looking at on price action, guys. Again, we're just flowing through the volume profiles, right? Like, that's what we looked at on Friday, right? On Friday, we had the POC that was acting as support, saying, hey, money flow continues into the green. We could potentially continue up through our profile, and we're just seeing that happen live right now. All right, let's check it on chat really quickly here. Shout out to Lil Porky. Lil Porky is crazy, bro. I think we need to close above 87K to get the hash ribbon to fire. Sure. 87, that'd be nice. I would like to close up there as well, not because of the hash ribbon, but just because. But yeah, this is just how I view the market, right? Like anything you're using, any kind of indicator, right? You have to use what works good for you, right? Or what kind of clicks with your brain. So, a lot of times you will see, if I'm looking at a value area high, right, or I'm looking at a value area low or an anchored VWAP, whatever those key levels I'm looking at, you will oftentimes find that something else you might be looking at will line up with that. You'll be like, well, hey, Frankie's looking for a full fill of this range, right, up to the value area high, but I see a cup and handle, right, or I see a head and shoulders, or I see, a moving average down here. A lot of that's going to line up, and the reason for that is because indicators are just all analyzing the same data and just displaying it differently for you. So yeah. I'll close above 87K would be very nice. But I would be careful. Because tomorrow, right, like if we are going to get this continued pullback, as of right now, right, ever since I did the market update earlier today, looking for the pullback on the 4-hour red dot, right? If this continues down, you have to understand there is some room to pull back here, right? I would argue potentially I really would prefer to hold a little bit higher, right? I would really like to see, 84.3, 84.4 be like the bottom line. I would really prefer just to hold above here. It looks a little too predictable in my opinion, but you would be able to kind of hold this trend line that we have, and you would come into the golden pocket 786, which makes for a good area to put the higher low in at. But, we could come down here, right? Like if we don't, there's a chance that if we come down here, we don't hold the higher lows and we lose this whole thing. Right, we could come down even lower. I know a lot of people are asking about the CME gap. We actually took a look at that in the premium Discord earlier today, but we could just pull that up on the CME. Roughly, it's coming in at about $84,000, maybe a little bit lower, and that is somewhat confluent with your 786 here, right? So it's not, if you lose this, come on down. Right, come fill that CME gap and then send it back to the upside. Again, that gives us kind of like another level of confluence to like hopefully get a bounce here. Come fill that CME gap and then get the bounce. But yeah, I would say lowest I would like to see this go ideally is like 84.3, 84.330, right? That is lowest I would like to see this go. This anchored VWAP, if we move down, will likely come up in confluence with this area, which would be nice. And then if we start losing that 786, I'm just simply looking at the value area, right? You have your POC down below. Hopefully, you just stay above the POC. But if you lose the POC, go back down to the low, right? And I will just be trading this as a volume profile, as we typically do, right? Looking for longs at the lows, right? Not calling bear market, oh my God, I'm scared, it's all going to zero, right? Looking for longs at the lows and then shorts at the highs, right? Let's see. Shout out to username said, ribs is life. Like ribs the food? I love ribs. Ribs are fire. Hashtag rib chat. Shout out to username. Flatsmack said, good luck, Bears. You will need it. Shout out to Flatsmack. Sending it to zero. Shout out to Flatsmack. I mean, sending it to $1 million. Shout out to Flatsmack. Our resident bull. Let's go. Shout out to Flatsmack. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, listen, I would prefer at this point, right? Yeah, I think even if, right, let's assume, right, all the people who think the bear market is here, let's assume they're right. That's still, there is still an open door to potential. Again, I do not think it's the bear market. I want to be very clear about that. If you're new here, I do not think it's a bear market. Could it be? Absolutely. Am I calling people who think it's a bear market an idiot? Absolutely not. Not even close, right? Like, I am open to the idea. But even if that is the case, we are still potentially able to come into about $97,000 or maybe even a little bit higher, right? Into the hundreds. That retracement could bring us pretty high. That's another, almost 12% rip to the upside. If you sweep the liquidity above 100K, it's another 13, 14% move to the upside. So I would say, right, like, it'd be nice to see those high time frame green dots. If we get that weekly green dot to print and that 10-hour money flow to continue into the green, I do think we could potentially continue up. So I would just look for a potential small pullback, right? Because again, we could capitalize on those small pullbacks, right? Like, we can make money on those pullbacks. Why would we not look for them if you can make money trading them, right? Up 517 now. Whoops. 517. Why would we not take advantage of that if we could see the moves coming, right? So I want to be very careful. It's a very hard job up here, right? And the reason for that is, like, I'm in a short and a long. So when people say, are you bullish or bearish? Frankie, is it going up or down, right? You could start to see how difficult of an answer that is to give. Frankie, is it going up or down? Well, I'm long and I'm short, right? So my thought is I'm holding my long from lower because I think the overall move could continue to the upside with the higher time frame green dots. But short term, I'm looking for a little cool off. Just because I'm bearish for a little bit of a cool off down, hopefully to 84.3, right? In the worst case scenario, we're just looking to grab a little bag here, make a few $1,000s, and then have that long continue to pay us out. And if we do come down here, maybe I will have one more opportunity to add to my long positions. So yeah, hopefully that's the case, right? Hopefully we just come up, break out, get into the bigger profile, and then send it up to 100K and beyond. But we can't say that until we see these things kind of play out, right? And we see these signals up at the higher prices. Let's see. I think anyone that thinks this is a bear market, this is their first year or so in crypto. Yeah, shout out to J. Cole. That's definitely, I think the reason everybody thought it was the bear market, or maybe still thinks, right? My thought process is people probably just thought this was the bear market because they're new to crypto and this is the first big drop to the downside that they had, right? And they've never really experienced. They got in, they thought it was just going to continue going up in a straight line like everybody does in their first time in crypto, like I did, right? And they just weren't ready for the volatility, right? But like for people who have been here for multiple cycles, people who have been watching this channel since the beginning, right? Like, this is clearly not the bear market, right? Like, if you were buying Bitcoin when you were supposed to be buying Bitcoin, right? The best time to buy Bitcoin. If you don't want Bitcoin at 15K, you do not deserve it up here, right? You do not deserve $100,000 Bitcoin if you don't want it down here, right? But most people are here for the quick buck, to get rich quick, to get rich overnight, right? So this is not looking like they could get rich down here, right? So they don't care about that. They wait for it to be in the headlines, right? That's where they buy. And I'll be honest, I think a reason why a lot of people think thought it was the bear market down here or think it's the bear market right now is because of the altcoins. Right? Everybody just got in. They're like, screw Bitcoin. I don't want to make 5x my money, right? I want to make 100x my money. I want to degen into all the altcoins, right? And then they got absolutely decimated. I think that's why everyone thinks this is the bear market, right? Because Bitcoin, again, like from a technical perspective, I don't know how you could call this a bear market, right? If you call this a bear, there is some people out there saying that we are officially in a bear market. Like many people I saw out there saying this is officially a bear market for crypto. Because we were 20% down from the high. Well, then that means that they were calling a bear market here I said this before. Here and here. That means that they've called this being a bear market, this being a bear market, this being a bear market, only for this thing to make new all-time highs, right? So this is why I say, like, I don't understand why you would think this is a bear market either, right? You haven't broken any significant structure or anything like that. Same thing here. I don't know why, like, just 20% down. Maybe a bear market in the sense of, like, a bearish trend. Maybe, right? Like, this is obviously a downtrend. But to call that a bear market, like, that means they had to have called the bear market here, here, and here, right? If you're basing your bear market calls off of a 25% drop or a 20% drop from a high, Bitcoin goes into a million bear market. Like, wasn't this 20%? Yeah, like after the ETF approval, like, were they calling that the bear market too? Right? Like, it's just, I don't understand, unless there's something I'm missing, which I'm totally open to, right? Like, if someone had a different theory on, like, why it was the bear market, like, oh no, this and this and this happened, right? But, like, just based off a 20% drop to the downside, I don't know who it. Maybe for a stock market, but not in crypto. Not in crypto. Two totally different things. Alts. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Eugene. Said alts were and are in a bear market. Absolutely. But I think that's why everybody feels like it's a traditional 4-year cycle bear. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, this is the bear market. You would have to be going off the alts, which is why I say that, right? Because, like, you can't be going off of this because nothing's really happened, right? We just got a pretty big cool off, sure. But yeah, like, alts getting decimated. And to be honest, again, when you get a lot of new people into crypto, they don't ask you, ooh, when should I buy Bitcoin? They go, what altcoin should I buy? What's going to turn my $1,000 into $1 million? Like, how do I get rich quick, right? I get these questions all day, every day, right? I get text messages from friends, family calling me, oh my God, this is ripping. Should I buy this? What altcoin should I buy? I want to make 100x gains, right? Very rarely. I have, and there is a game to be played there, right? Obviously, a lot of the altcoins eventually, I guess some of them, I wouldn't say all of them, right? Some of them will outperform Bitcoin as far as percentage gains, right? But when my family goes, hey, what should I buy? Oh my God. I have to literally, like, battle to get them to buy. Like, this is what I say, right? Like, I have people come up to me and say, hey, I want to get into crypto. My first thought is, right, this all happened in like over here in December. They're like, I want to get into crypto. My first thought is bad timing, right? Like, this is not where you want to get in. You should have got in down here when I told you, right? And not that I told them to buy down here, but it's like, hey, I'm buying down here. Might not be a bad time to look into it, right? But this is where they want to get in. First off, I'm like, I wouldn't buy the top of the green candles. And then they go, what altcoin should I buy, right? And a lot of them, right, a lot of the people that talk to me have families. They have full-time jobs, right? They have, they have a lot going on. And I try to tell these people, I try to give them the most honest advice that I can give them, which is, if I were you, I would buy Bitcoin over time for the next 10 years. Don't try to get rich overnight, right? Like, if you're a little bit more into crypto, right? These are people who are not crypto people, right? These are just people who's like, well, what should I put my money in? I want it to grow, right? These aren't people that are going to do the research. They just want to know what to buy to make a quick buck, right? And I try to beg them, just buy Bitcoin, dude. Not right now, obviously. But, buy Bitcoin on the dip, wait a little bit, buy on the dips, maybe buy some altcoins, diversify into the altcoins. But, like, a lot of people who are older, have not a lot of time, they don't really understand crypto. I just try to push them to buy Bitcoin. And what do? They just, I'm going to buy Bitcoin at the top, and I'm going to buy all the alts at the top. And then they get chewed up. They sell the bottom. They buy the top. They buy the top, sell the bottom, buy the top, sell the bottom. They chew up all their capital. And then they like, crypto's a scam. And then I look back and I say, this is what I'm saying. You should have just buy Bitcoin over time, right? And that's different for everybody. A lot of you guys, a lot of the mafia, right? Like, you guys are more in the trenches here, so to say. I wouldn't call them the trenches, but you're here. You guys can, you guys are spending time in this. You guys study. You guys actually understand. Someone who watches a crypto stream every single day, you're in a little bit of a different situation than, like, your uncle being like, hey, what altcoin should I buy to get $1 million overnight, right? But I have to beg people to buy Bitcoin. Like, dude, just please. And it always winds up being the case, right? It's like, now I got people who were, like, buying altcoins at the top, right, when I told them not to. And, I'll never tell you when to and not to buy things. I just say, listen, for me, I say the same thing I tell everybody on the live stream, right? There is no universe. Let's take a look at auction real quick, right? You take a look at auction, right? What was I saying on the live stream yesterday or on Friday? There is no universe that exists where I buy this coin at that pump. right? Like there's literally no reality where I buy the top of that. Wait for the pullback. It will come. Could it continue up? Yes. But if it does, I'm happy to watch it go up because that's just a losing game no matter what. But people don't want that, right? People just want to, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to buy the altcoins and get wrecked. But yeah, I think that's what happens, right? And like these are the people who are like, oh my God, this is the bear market. Oh my God. And it's like, altcoins for sure are in a bear market, right? But that doesn't mean that, traditional 4-year bear market would be Bitcoin down 75%, right? Which is definitely not what we're seeing. So yeah, but I mean, you go click on any altcoin, right? Like you're down, like this is where everyone wants to buy. November 2024, Dogecoin pops out, boom, massive jump to the downside. Do they want to buy it down here? Absolutely not. They want to wait for the euphoria. I mean, it's the classic psychology of the market, right? It's like I see this stuff play out in real time with people in my real life. And I try to talk to them, and it's so difficult, and I understand it because I was in that situation at some point, right? I was in the situation of like, I don't want to buy Bitcoin. I want to make $1 million overnight, right? But it's not until you actually have the experience that you realize how unlikely that is and how dangerous it is to buy on those big pumps. Very difficult. Let's see. Shout out to Gen Z said, I'm in the trenches, bro. Nas. Maybe we'll take a look at Nas for you, Gen Z, today. Let's see. Shout out to Wayne C. said, JV, I dip my pizza in barbecue sauce. I actually don't hate on that much. I don't really hate on that. As much of a pizza maxi I am. Barbecue sauce ain't bad on pizza. Not me. I don't do that personally. It's more of a taste thing, but I don't think it's that crazy. Shout out to JV. Let's see. Is it crazy I put cheddar Doritos on my pineapple and ham pizza? Shout out to Al Jr. It's different. It's different. I don't know if there's much you could put Doritos on that will taste bad. I mean, you put Doritos on anything, it's going to taste good, I feel like. But there we go. Short position continuing to pay out here. Up 800 now, almost. 795. So is pineapple on pizza. Shout out to Tyler. Yeah, it's barbecue chicken pizza is lit. Yeah, I like barbecue slices. Those are nice too. There is a universe where Frankie is still buying the top just like us. There is a past universe where I'm up there buying tops. Trust me, guys. I know. And the reason I know all this is because I went through it to the most extreme degree. Literally to the most extreme degree. Trust me. I've been through it. I didn't just get into crypto and magically like I was the best at it. I got wrecked probably more than anybody in this live stream right now. I can almost promise you that. All right. All right, let's continue on here. So let's take a quick look at Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. And I do want to talk about the local levels on Ethereum here, guys. Because I think Bitcoin is right. We know what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Does anybody have any questions? I think this is I think I covered everything. Right, we're within the profile. We could pull back. We have the key levels that we just went over to hopefully put in higher lows and higher highs based off 4-hour money flow. We'll see what the 4-hour red dot gives us. We're already up 809 on the short, which is not too shabby. We'll see if it could play out to our. Let me actually put a alert here real quick. Just put an alert right there. And we'll put an alert right here. So we'll see. If we dump down, we'll get that alert. But yeah, we'll see if we can pull down here to at least 86.7 to the golden pocket. Shout out to Kilgannon says, no, I definitely got wrecked more. I would challenge that. I wasn't always Frankie Candles. I was Frankie buy the top and get wrecked. I'll be honest, not as much in long-term bags. When it comes to trading, like leverage trading, trust me, I made every mistake 700,000 times. I got bored of losing. It wasn't the pain that got me. It was just me getting bored. I was just like, I got so bored that I had to do something different. And that's kind of what changed things for me. Pretty brutal. I wish I kept better record back then. Because I probably hold some kind of a record. Let's see. Brisket is legit. I had brisket the other day. Yeah, the top keeps stopping until you buy. Yeah, shout out to Sandard. All right, let's continue. Yeah, journal, everyone. Shout out to Dr. BTC. I don't journal as much as I should. And by as much as I should, I mean like never really anymore. I should journal. I used to journal a lot, but it get really busy. I really should. There's no excuses. But yeah. Shout out to Tobes. Says, Frankie, when is it time to sell a kidney for crypto? Shout out to Tobes. I mean, listen, hard to say. I would say this was probably the best time as we were coming into the Golden Pocket 786 to sell a kidney, but I wouldn't put all of the kidney money right into crypto, right? I would probably put half in here and then see if we can get a lower low into 70 to 72 and then put the second half in here maybe. For me personally, not financial advice, obviously. But yeah, like I would say this, listen, excuse me, if like for altcoins, dollar cost average. I mean, for me personally, I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines. I have dry powder on the side. I am waiting for things to settle down. Could dollar cost averaging be the name of the game? At the end of the day, more often than not, dollar cost average is the name of the game, right? Like you don't want to put everything all in at one point, right? You want to wait. You want to put some in, right? Wait for another drop, put a little bit in. Dollar cost average over time. That way, you're not trying to time the bottom or time the top. This is what a lot of people don't want to do during the bear markets, right? Everybody just wants to wait for the bull market, right? And this is very important to realize if you want to stick around for the next cycle. Everybody wants to wait for things to kick back up and then buy in for some reason. I don't know why that is the like the norm, right? The best thing to do is to pay the most attention. The money is not made up here. The money is made on the way down, right? The start of the bear market should be where your ears perk up and you triple down on your research. I said this back here when we had our last bear market, right? I said, if you guys are here and you think we're in a bear market, which we thought so, this is the time to double down, triple down on your research, learn how to trade, stack up as much money as you can, and start to dollar cost average on the way down. But that's not what people want to do because this requires patience. It requires pain. It requires a lot of sitting and waiting, right? Most people don't want to do that. Most people just want to wait until they could just wait. Oh my God, it's at 100K. I'm going to buy. I'm going to become a millionaire, right? No one wants, it's not that easy, right? You have to stick through the hard times. There's a reason why they say if you don't want Bitcoin at 20K, you don't deserve it at 100K. There is a total reason for that. All the money is made down here and on the way down. You want to focus at this point of the market. So take this for what it's worth. If you just and when you first get into crypto, especially if this is your first cycle, there's really no way to avoid coming in at the top, right? Because you might not really be paying attention to crypto, and then you only hear about it when it's pumping, right? So you wouldn't have known to come and check it out unless we were at the highs, right? So your first time, you kind of have no choice, right? Like, because you don't know about crypto and then you find out about it when it's on the news or whatever. But after you're here, if we go into another bear market, there's no excuses for next cycle. When you go into a bear market, if Bitcoin drops back down to 30K, that is the time to pay attention, right? Not here. Down here is the time to pay attention, right? Me personally, right, if you pay attention in the bear market, you could just let things fly. And then you don't even have to really, obviously pay attention every day because I have the channel and the Discord and I trade every day. But, you really want to focus down here. That's where the money's made. Right? This is where you dollar cost average in. Everyone's like, no, it's just going to keep going down. I'm going to wait to time the bottom. You're never going to time the bottom, right? It's very difficult to do. Very difficult. And if you do it, anytime I've timed the perfect top or a perfect bottom, it's always been an element of luck involved in that, right? So, you wait for the big drops down, dollar cost average in. But this isn't the bottom. That's okay. Buy it, buy it, buy it. Get the next drop, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy. Dollar cost average is the name of the game for your long-term bags, in my opinion, for somebody who's new to crypto. That's the way to do it. But you have to be here during the pain, not during the euphoria. Most people come in during euphoria. You want to come in during the absolute crypto's a scam. It's all going to zero time, right? So there you go. But anyway, let's continue on. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Shout out to, oh, God, I don't know how to say that name. Min? Shout out to you, bro. He said, I lost so much money. I'm new to leverage trading, but I'm starting to learn to be patient. I've DCA'd down from 105 to 85. Shout out to, that's better than, that's better than, shout out to Mean. I don't know how to say your name, bro. I apologize. But yeah, if you're new, bro, I would learn as much as you can about leverage trading before you even think about putting money in. You have to learn how to do it before you start, leverage trading can be gambling unless you know what you're doing, and it takes time to learn what you're doing. So yeah, shout out to you, brother. Sounds like you're making progress though. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Sharknado said, yeah, but at the bottom, it could easily lose 50% more too. True. Shout out to Crypto Sharknado. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I guess you mean like if it's going down like crazy, like we'll just take a look at ETH. Like it could keep going down, and that's okay, right? That's why you dollar cost average in. You're not trying to put all your, I think that this is what you're saying, right? Like you're not trying to put all your money in at the bottom. It is not even worth it trying to do that because it is so difficult. And this is coming from a full-time trader, technical analyst who's been in this space since 2017. I've been around, right? It is not worth it to try to time the bottoms. It is much better to dollar cost average in, right? So you could you could even do like a weighted dollar cost average, right? So let's say you start with all your capital, you put 10% in here, right? And then as it drops, you put 10%, 10%, 10%. And then when it really starts nuking, maybe you feel like, oh my God, this was a really, really big dump. Let me put in 20%. And then you pick a little bit more up lower, giving you an average buy-in price somewhere at the lows. Because in hindsight, which a lot of people can't do in crypto, a lot of people don't have the ability to look past their nose, right? But in hindsight, you're not going to care, right? Like take me, for example, right? I didn't just buy the bottom tick the low, right? Shout out to anybody who can, right, on purpose. Sometimes you can get lucky. But I started buying in after this big drop, right? After this first big drop, this is where I started buying in. I bought here, and then it went up, and then it went up, and then it went back down. Did I see that as a bad thing? Absolutely not. I expected that next drop to the downside. And what was it from here to here, right? You get 37%, right? So I bought, and then I bought, right? And then you dollar cost average in, and then because in hindsight, you're not going to care if Bitcoin's at 150K, right? Or even 100K at that, right? Bitcoin's at 150K. You're not going to care if you bought all your bag here or all your bag here, right? So you might as well dollar cost average in and get somewhere in the middle, right? All you're going to know is, hey, I bought the bottom of the bear market, and now I've enjoyed this massive move to the upside, right? You do not have to bottom tick the low. It's almost impossible, right? Coming from me. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. Dollar cost average is the way for your long-term bags. Not dollar cost average up here, right? This is not the best time to dollar cost average. Even if, and shout out to Min, I again don't know how to say your name, if you, even here, dollar cost averaging in from like 109 down to 85, hopefully, right, like this thing could still drop down to $72,000 to $70,000, and at the end of the day, it's still hopefully, I hope for your sake that this goes back up, whether we come down there first or come up from where we are now. I hope it comes back up. But at the end of the day, like still not even the best time to be dollar cost averaging in. You're dollar cost averaging in after a massive 622% rip to the upside. You want to dollar cost average in literally the opposite. You want to start dollar cost averaging in after you get a massive 65% drop to the downside, and then you can start dollar cost averaging in. And again, if you believe that price will put a higher low in here and continue to the upside, then what you would probably want to do is dollar cost average in on this dump, right? Dollar cost average in on the dumps, on the pullbacks. But still, I want to be very clear, like this is not ideal dollar cost averaging. Ideal dollar cost averaging would be if we go into a bear market and we're approaching 30K, like start dollar cost averaging in down here. So yeah, I try to put it into perspective for people because I know there's a lot of new people out there, and my main goal is to help you guys actually make money, right? I don't want to, I would probably get further ahead in the YouTube game or whatever as an influencer to just tell people what they want to hear and get everybody wrecked. But I just can't do that. It's just not my thing. I would rather help people actually make money. That's what keeps me going. That's what helps me sleep at night. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Sharknado said, but you're really saying, oh my God, this might be a horrible idea. I don't know the exact context of that. But I will say this. Yes, anytime I've bought the bottom, right? Like even when I bought down here and I was dollar cost averaging, I felt like an idiot buying down here. Because you have to understand the sentiment, guys. If the sentiment up here is, oh my God, the end of the world, bear market, tariffs, oh my God, I'm so scared. Imagine what it was down here if you were not down here in the 2022 bear market, right? I felt like an idiot buying down here, but what was I going off of? I don't have to care about the sentiment because all I could see here is a weekly bullish divergence, which if not marking the low, would indicate that the low could be near. Right? Maybe we put in another drive of bullish divergence, right? So I was willing to take another drop down, potentially to 12 to 14K. But it just wound up that I started pretty much dollar cost averaging in at the perfect time, right? I didn't snipe the bottom. I basically, my entries between like $20,000 and $21,000, right? So, but 100%, like I felt like an idiot buying down here. Also, you feel like an idiot selling, right? Like up here, I did not sell the exact top, but like selling up here, like I felt like an idiot, right? And I highly recommend having predetermined areas where you want to sell, not just like waiting till you feel like it's overheated. I have targets on the chart where I'm looking to personally sell a lot of my Bitcoin, and we talk about those levels all the time, obviously. But yeah, like anytime I've sold the top of anything, it's like you always feel like an idiot. You're like, I'm probably selling this and it's gonna rip, but that's okay. You have to make money. The name of this game is not to make as much money as physically possible. In a way it is, right? Obviously, you're here to make money. But your goal is to make money, period. It doesn't matter if, like, again, like for me personally, if we come up to $137,000, right? That's a big level for me to start taking profit. And some people might say, like, oh, this guy's an idiot if he sells his Bitcoin at 137K. This thing's going to 150. Why would you sell there? Because there is no guarantee you're going to 150. And at that point, right, because I have an entry in the bear market, at that point, at 137K, say from $21,000, $137K, I am already up 552%, give or take, right? So do I care after enjoying this entire rise to the upside from the bottom? Do I really care about an extra 10%? Not really. That's the beauty of buying lower. You could take profits earlier and you're not leaving that much on the table, even if it ripped up to 200K, right? From 137. Right? You're up to 47%. At that point, I'd rather roll my profits into altcoins, and hopefully the altcoins start to outperform. So, you got to pay yourself. Like, if you don't take profits, you're never going to make any money. So don't worry about timing the tops. And I would be very careful listening to people's price targets. Take money off the table when you have money on the table. If you see an amount of money and you're like, this is crazy money for me, right? I just made a bunch of money. I want to buy this. I want to buy a house. I want to put a down payment on a car, whatever it is for you. I'm going to send my kids to college, whatever that thing is for you. And you see that money, take that money off the table. Because just remember, every influencer and their grandma was calling for 100K up here. We didn't get anywhere near it, right? And that's not to say that we couldn't have gone to 100K. We could have, right? But nobody knows. So be very careful listening to anybody online, including me, saying, more likely, like anyone being very deterministic, like we're definitely going to this price, you're an idiot if you sell. I would run far away from those people, right? Because their goal is to get clicks on their YouTube channel and not help you make money. So keep that in mind. So take profits when you see that money, right? Don't just hold on for some arbitrary target that someone told you on YouTube, some random person. So just keep that in mind. Even if it's me, right? Even if I'm saying, like, I think we're going to 150. If you see money on the table, take it. Only you can make the decisions, right? It doesn't matter what someone tells you. If someone tells you to buy a meme coin and it goes to zero, whose fault is it that you lost all your money? The person who told you about the coin or you? It's you, right? When Tony D says, yo, buy Hiccup coin, it's about to 100x, and I put it 10K in and it goes to zero. Am I pissed at him? No, I'm pissed at myself. I'm kidding. Tony D never tells me to buy meme coins. But I'm just saying, in that case, right, everybody, it's so much easier to put the blame on somebody else for losing you money or not making you money, right? Like, it's much easier. Like, most people just want to, like, put that responsibility off on themselves. But people like that never make money in this market, right? Because they're just listening to somebody. And even when the person that they're listening to is right, they don't have the wherewithal to take profit or anything like that because they're just waiting for someone to tell them what to do. So that's why I like to teach and actually give you the skills and the tools that you need to make your own decisions and actually make money. So anyway, and we're not a slave to the bull markets or bear markets. We make money no matter what. Let's see. Shout out to Morpheus said, big shout out to you, Frankie Candles. True words. You're not going to hear, shout out to Morpheus. I appreciate you, bro. You're not going to hear this on every channel, right? Because, again, I'm not I don't rely on, like, my views on YouTube to get paid, right? Or to make money, right? We trade. We make money. We don't need YouTube. I don't care if I have 1 million subscribers or our ad revenue. Like, we make no money on our YouTube channel. It's very hard to make money on YouTube. You need a ton of views, right? But we don't rely on that. I actually care about people making money. Yo, shout out to Tony D said, but Frank, this time it's the next sheep. Shout out to Tony D. And if you've been here long enough, guys, you know, like every time the meme coins are going crazy, I'm like, guys, everyone and their grandma's going to tell you this coin's going to be the next Doge, and it's not going to be, right? Chances of you hitting that are like going to the casino, which is fine. We're all adults. If you want to go to the meme coin casino, hey, I like going to the meme coin casino, but I know that the money I stick into that machine is literally going to go in and it's going to be gone forever. I know that, right? And I accept that risk, and I don't blame the person who told me to buy it. I blame myself. If I buy it and I lose money, it's my fault. But anyway, let's continue on. Yeah, Hopium, it's brutal. Shout out to Diamond. Yo, DDT with the big brains. Darren Does Things says, take your money. I've just made back 25% of my silly trade. Stop losses, LFG. Listen to Frankie. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Yes, absolutely. You got to pay yourself when you're in the green, or you will quickly be in the red. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other altcoins. For the 15th time, let's take a look at Ethereum. Been sticking a little bit more to kind of like talking about like the longer term scenario of things and like how you can handle investing long-term in this market, because I know a lot of people got caught off guard with the alt season not happening when they thought it was going to happen. So I like to stick to that, right? Because it's very important. If you don't understand these things, even if I told you, hey, Ethereum's about to go from $2,100 to $3,000 in 2 days, right? Most people, if you don't understand this stuff, they might buy it, they might hold it, but they're never going to make money because it's going to go from $2,100 to $3,000. They're never going to take any money off the table, and it's going to go back down to zero, and they're not going to make any money, and that is not the goal. The goal is to walk away out of this market with actual money. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at Solana. I'll take a look at Ethereum. We'll take a look at Solana, and then shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. I think he's still here. Shout out to Rob. If you are still here, please let me know, and then we'll do a small alt list. I did not look at ADA yet. Shout out to John Boy. Yeah, shout out to J. Cole. Yeah, I 100% agree. He says, I think that altcoin season did not start yet because people were throwing money at memes. I do think the meme coins definitely sucked a lot of liquidity out of the utility tokens. But I do think there is a chance that we still see that happen, right? What is it? Pump fund volumes down like 99% or something like that. So hopefully people like had their fix with their degeneracy. And then, on the next roll into the alt season, the meme coins, I mean, they will still, catch a rip, but hopefully they, hey, Rob the Crypto Stop. All right. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and drop your favorite altcoin in the chat, guys. Rob, let's do like 2 requests because I kind of rambled for a little bit. But we're going to do Ethereum. We'll do Solana. We'll do XRP, and let's do like 2 requests. So yeah, thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. Tyler said, fired. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Dang it. Shout out to Tyler. Always trying to fire Rob. Backstabbing. Shout out to Rob. There's like an untold feud between Rob and Tyler Durden. I love it. All right. So yeah, spam those altcoins in the chat, and let's take a look here. So for Ethereum, guys, obviously we've been looking at a few different levels. Bada boom. Let me just grab this, put this in a folder, go ahead and hide it. Whoops. Grab this. Boom. Okay. And then, oh wait, hang on. My fault. Oh, hang on. I got to pull up my other chart. Dang it. Yeah, I do have to pull up the other chart. Bear with me here, guys. Where's it at? Boom. Let's see. All right. There we go. Okay, so on Ethereum, guys, obviously, we know. Let me pull up the actual levels here. So what have we been looking at on Ethereum recently? We have obviously been looking at the breakout of this volume profile. I'm not going to go over exactly what we looked at. I've covered it so many times. But, we get the breakout of the profile, and we look for our next targets to be come on, Golden pocket, 786 retracement. Target number 1 was right here. We flip that to support. We come up into the 786. Once we come down from there on Friday, I believe it was, we looked at this key level of support. Literally giving it all away for free here on the Frank Candles live stream. Golden pocket, value area high confluence. This was the start of our first area of support that we were hoping, like, hey, if we're going to see the 4-hour money flow continue into the green, and we're going to continue this trend to the upside and look for a break of structure to higher prices, where are we going to be looking for that higher low to come in at? We are going to be looking for that golden pocket 786 retracement. If we cool off, again, money flow makes you anticipate the continuation of the trend to the upside. But when you start to get local signals for a pullback at key resistance, you look for the pullback. But on that pullback, you can be looking for longs on higher lows. That higher low is likely to come in at the golden pocket 786 retracement. Get back above there, look to come up to our next target, which is obviously, I'm going to get this fib off the chart because we've already rejected it. But our next key level and target was the value area low of the previous range, sitting right here at, come on, give me the dang arrow. There we go. Sitting right here at about $2,100. What happens? We put the higher low in on our golden pocket value area high confluence, and we get the move into the value area low. Right now, if this is the key level to break, this is obviously going to be key resistance until proven otherwise, right? Value area lows, obviously doorways to higher prices, but once we tap that, get above it, flip it to support, that's where we can anticipate a bigger move to the upside. Now, there is a local context that I'm looking at, but overall, this is the main scenario. We've come up to target 1, target 2 have all been tapped. Target 3 is now being respected. So hopefully, we can hold some higher lows, right? Again, hopefully the 4-hour red dot is obviously looking to pull us down. But if we do pull back, we can look for potential higher lows and then higher highs based off the 4-hour money flow, right? So 4-hour red dot could easily pull us back, just like back here. 4-hour red dot, get the pullback, money flows in the green, look for the higher low and the break of structure to the upside. 4-hour red dot prints, look for the pullback, money flows in the green, look for the higher low. There's your level. Look to get back above this value area low. Once we flip that value area low to support, that is where we're going to look up towards the golden pocket as our next major target. This is sitting between 2248 and 2271. Once you get above that, we could start to look towards that POC at about 2319. Get above the golden pocket into the POC at 2320, 2319. Get above that, 786 at about 2380. These are the next targets to the upside for Ethereum. If we're able to get above this value area low, / doorway to higher prices, that's what I'd be looking at. Very simply put, right? Now, another context that I'm looking at, guys, I'm going to turn off the macro value area. Remember, this is the overall situation, right? We have a area of balance down here, area of balance up here. If we get inside here, you look to push up towards that POC, remembering the intermediary levels of support and resistance that we just looked at, the golden pocket, etc. But overall, if you're not looking at your fibs, right, you're just looking at this as a volume profile, you're tapping on the doorway to higher prices, right? Probably going to cool off from the value area low, but once we flip it, look to go to the POC. Just understand those local levels, golden pocket 786 as well. Now, if we turn off the macro volume profile, I want to pull up this little mini volume profile. This is actually interesting. Now, if we look at this, this is pretty confluent. This value area low of our local range is very close to the value area low of the macro range, right? But we kind of got to get above this whole kind of level, right? Value area low, right? So this is resistance. Whoops. This is sitting between basically $2,100, right? Maybe we get a cool off, but if we can get above this level, again, macro value area low, we're also getting accepted into our local value area low. So if we get a push up from that level, $2,214 is the POC of that range. Flip that, you can go up to the value area high at 2273. And if you pull up the golden pocket that we were just looking at, you can see it is confluent with the value area high of that range. So you could look at this in two different contexts. Obviously, actually, let me go ahead and let me do that. All right, that puts it all together. Perfect. Let me grab this, put it in here, go ahead and hide it. So yeah, you can kind of see how these are confluent, right? Like overall, you're below your macro volume profile. Could get the turbulence down here. Once you flip it, look to go to the POC. If you're looking for local resistance to kind of understand what that journey up to the POC is going to look like, you could simply just look at your mini volume profile, right? Pretty much the same levels. Get above here, look to go to the POC, golden pocket, deviate above that golden pocket. You can look to go to the 786, and you can also understand that your POC is right in between there. So these are the levels I'd be looking at for Ethereum. Got to get above $2,100. That is your biggest level of resistance, plain and simple. We put the higher low in on the level that we looked at on Friday on the live stream, put in the higher low, just like on Bitcoin, break structure to the upside. Very nice. Let's hope that we could get above this value area low and start pushing up towards 22 to 2273, right? Eventually targeting the POC at 2300. Those are the targets I'm looking at for Ethereum. Pretty simple, right? I don't want to really make that too complicated. Even if you're not looking at the local levels, you just look at this. $2,100, get above that, look to work your way up towards that POC. Sure, you're going to get resistance in random places, but eventually you look to target that POC. That's what I'm looking at. Get above here, look to the POC. Bada boom. Daily money flow still in the red. 2-day money flow still crossed over into the red. But you also do have your weekly green dot printing with your 10-hour money flow crossover, just like on Bitcoin. You are a little bit overbought here, right? So turbulence is to be expected. Maybe we go down, fill that CME gap on Bitcoin. Ethereum follows. But this 10-hour money flow, hopefully we can keep this in the green, because if we can, with that weekly green dot, it may be able to signal that bigger move to the upside. Even if we flip that POC, we might be able to start the bigger move up. We have a lot of key resistance up here, right? You also have a local profile up here, right? So you break above the POC, you might be able to come up to this value area low at $2,600. But at the end of the day, regardless of all the local levels, right? Get above that value area low, POC, look to work your way up into that value area high. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to fill this whole range right now without going lower first, but that's how the volume profile you would look for the volume profile to play out. But we need higher time frame money flow to start shaping up in order to call for that. Until then, 2-day, same thing as Bitcoin. We have to keep an eye on the potential scenario where we see lower lows, lower highs, potential lower lows, right? In which case, the next key level for that to come in at, if we don't get it from where we are now, could be the golden pocket at 2251 and the 786 at 2385. But I'll keep you guys updated on this as price action develops. But, pretty simply put, you guys can pause this and get these levels on your chart. Bitcoin short is slapping now up $1,071 in just a few minutes. Not really a few minutes. It's actually been a little bit here. It doesn't tell you the time that you opened up the trade, but I did put it here. 5:36, right before the live stream. Not too shabby. Got a nice little $1,000 plus tip here on the live stream tonight. Not too bad. But yeah, there we go. Pretty sweet. But we'll see how that continues to play out. See if we can make it down to that golden pocket. Let me actually pull up the Bitcoin chart real quick. Yeah, wow, we're quickly approaching that golden pocket target. Not too shabby. That 15-minute money flow crossover into the red has got to be happening. There it is. Whoo, baby. If this winds up being a traditional 15-minute money flow crossover for a move down to some of these lower levels, we might have caught that early entry. I'll drop this onto the chart real quick just so I can visualize this. Shout out to the premium Discord. Let's see. Entry at 88.56. Bada boom. Playing out nicely. See if it continues up. Up 1,100. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh, there's the alert. Oh, baby, push it. Up 1,200. Let's go. Come on, push it. Give me another alert, Bitcoin. Alert. That 4-hour red dot about to print as well. Let's go. Shout out to Left Audio. Hey, shout out to anybody who saw the market update earlier today. We looked at this exact scenario potentially playing out. If it dumps, it's orchestrated, but I don't think B-Rock will do that anymore. B-Rock. I'm like, who's B-Rock? I catch your drift. Let's see. Hey, Frankie, with your trading practices, when do you throw in the towel on a trade versus seeing if it will reverse a certain percentage? Shout out to R Thek, I think is how you say that. It has everything to do with my trading plan, right? Every trade has a plan, right? And once you set your stop loss, is that your medication alarm or something? Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Oh, shout out to Darren Does Things said, Frankie Candles Essentials. Thank you for that, Rob. I appreciate you. Waiting for it. Boom. Thank you very much. Replacement comment. Bada boom. Okay. So, yeah, shout out to Darren Does Things said the Frankie Candles Essentials have the sauce can confirmations. Hashtag not a trading signal. I do believe he is talking about this volume profile. Shout out to anybody looking for the fixed range volume profile. You can check out Frankie Candles Essentials on TradingView by Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo. Be talking about this range potentially. Boom. I wonder, yeah, this might be the sauce cans he's talking about. Confirmations above the value area, back into the range, back to the low, and you lose it for the bigger drop down. Not too shabby. Darren, let me know. I don't know if that's exactly what you were talking about, but there's those sauce cans. Hashtag not a trade signal. Shout out to Darren. Yo, shout out to eGenerate says, this is the best live stream on YouTube. Let's go. Shout out to eGenerate. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Smash that like button. Love you, Frankie. Shout out to Cal. Shout out to you, bro. I love you back, man. I love you back. How do you analyze to put where you put your stop loss? Shout out to Dawn. So it really depends on each individual trade. The answer is it's not really a black or white answer. Yeah, it's not a black or white answer. It really depends on the specific scenario. So yeah, it's kind of a hard answer to give, right? Like, sometimes it's going to be above the previous high. Sometimes it's going to be above a key level of resistance. Sometimes it's going to be above a specific wick. But at the end of the day, the stop loss is going to go on the area of the chart where I think my trading idea is invalidated, right? So, for example, I'm not going to go into a full explanation right now just because I have a ton of videos on the channel explaining this in detail. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to the individual setup. But it all comes down to having a plan, right? You have to have a trade. If you don't have a trading plan, you don't have a trade, right? You have a gamble, right? You have a 50-50 shot. But for example, like on an SFP, I always use SFPs as an example just because it gives you like a very clear invalidation for your trade, right? So for an SFP setup, right, you're looking for a swing failure pattern, which I'm not going to go over right now. But essentially, you're looking for a wick above a level and a closure below a level, right? Let me try to find a decent area, like right here, right? So you have a wick right here. Let's say let's assume that you were waiting for your. This is actually important. Let's say assume you're waiting for that SFP, right? So you're waiting for the wick above and then the candle closure below before looking for a bigger drop to the downside. You get the SFP, you enter your trade. Where's your stop loss go in this case? Well, for me, for a swing failure pattern, my stop loss goes right above that SFP wick, right? And this is why I love SFPs, because it has a clear invalidation, right? Meaning, if price comes back up and breaks this wick, I want to get out of the trade because it invalidates the SFP and it's probably going to give us a bigger continuation up. So that's where that stop loss would go in that case. And then, depending on how good your entry is, if you get an entry all the way up here, right, you can have a pretty big position size because your stop loss is so tight. But let's assume you get a really bad entry, right? If you get a really bad entry all the way down here or something, your stop loss is much bigger. But this doesn't mean that you can't take the trade. It just means that you have to lower your position size to keep with your risk management plan, right? For me, is 1% to 2% of my account, right? So whether I get stopped out of this position, right, with a 2% stop loss, this number, right, this number 2%, it has nothing to do with where I set my stop loss. This is a common misconception. I never get on the chart and be like, okay, I'm going to put a 2% stop loss, and then I make this number 2%. That has nothing to do with it, right? I put my stop loss where the trade idea is invalidated. If price breaks this level, I want to get out because my thought and my idea was completely wrong. And I want to sit out and let price, do something, and I'll find another setup, right? But if you can get a nice entry towards the top of the candle, you can use a bigger position size because you have a tighter stop loss. If you get a bad entry, you could still take this trade, but you have to lower your position size because no matter how big your stop loss is, whether it's this big or this big, right? You should only be losing 1% of your account. And the tighter that stop loss, the bigger position size you could take, right? So like up here, I might be able to use a $200,000 position size, right? But if I get a worse entry, I might have to use a $100,000 position size or a $60,000 position size because I have to give my because there's a lot more room to come up here, right? So I adjust that risk by lowering the position size. But regardless of where that stop loss is, I am only losing 1% of my account on any given loss for the most part. Okay, so there you go. Hopefully that explains that for you. But let's see. Let's take a look at our alt list here. So we got H-bar. I'm going to look at H-bar because everybody's talking about the Trump thing with H-bar. Bada boom. Shout out to Rob the Crypto. Stop spamming those, spam Frankie's inhaler to remind him to take a breath. No breathing on the Frankie Candles live stream, especially when it's high intensity. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. I appreciate you, bro. I would not be able to breathe without you. That is the truth. Let's see. Class is in session. This is such good info. Normal people would be charging good money for this. Can't thank you enough. Shout out to, I say it all the time. Shout out to Generate. Yeah, a lot of people charge for this information. I won't lie. Shout out to Tales of Mystery. Said you didn't answer my super chat. Shout out to Tales of Mystery. Let me go ahead and check this. Real quick, shout out to Ekai, thank you for the super chat. Said Jasmine, please. We'll try to take a look at Jasmine if we have some time today. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to Creighton C with the super chat. Says, I felt like that was your hash ribbons judgy face. What else makes your face do that? Let's find out. EMAs? Ugh. MACD? Ugh. Bollinger Bands? Tick volume? Harmonic patterns? Fixed range volume profile? Oh, yeah. Are better than VPVR? Oh, yeah. Shout out to Creighton C. No, hash ribbons, no judgment on hash ribbons. Just not something I look at. Shout out to Creighton C. Just not something that I personally look at. But I'm sure it is probably in line with something that I'm looking at. But shout out to Creighton C. Yeah, no, definitely no. Maybe a little judge on the MACD. I don't know. I just don't find the MACD very accurate. But, listen, that's just my opinion. In my experience. Other people might have different opinions. No, EMAs are fire. Bollinger Bands are fire. Tick volume. Harmonic patterns are fire. I wish honestly, harmonic patterns something I could probably take a little bit more use of. Fixed range volume profiles are better than visible range volume profile. I would 100% agree with that on any day of the week. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's go. But let's see. Tales of Mystery said, thanks for the sauce in the premium Discord. How do you not chase price when under pressure to make money? Shout out to Tales of Mystery. Very, very good question and very simple answer. I would never, ever, as somebody who has a paid Discord and a crypto trading YouTube channel, I can only speak the truth. If I would never in a billion years recommend somebody rely on crypto trading as a way to make consistent, reliable money if you're just starting to learn, right? I always say this to people. A lot of people say, I really want to be a trader, Frankie. Should I quit my day job and focus full-time on trading? And my answer 100 out of 100 times is absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do not quit your day job ever to pursue day trading full-time until you are consistently profitable over a certain period of time. That is the worst thing that you can do for your trading career, right? Or your trading journey. That's not to say that you can't make consistent money trading. We just made $1,000 in the last hour or so, right? It's not to say that. And that's why I show this every day, right? Live. But this is the worst thing because your biggest battle in your trading journey is going to be your emotions. And the best way to increase your emotions is to rely on trading for your money. It is the worst idea ever. And shout out to Tales of Mystery. I'm not saying you did this or you're in this position, but I'm just saying the simple answer is if you are relying on learning how to trade profitably for your money, which makes me think if you feel like you want to chase, makes me think that you're still early on in your journey on trying to learn. Don't rely on trading for money in the beginning. Ever. Like, not only is it not a good idea, it's like the worst thing for your trading journey because it just adds more emotion, which is the thing that you're trying to control. So it just makes it much harder, right? It's very easy to chase a trade when you need that money to pay your rent. But the problem is that's how you get wrecked, right? Because you might be chasing like, oh my God, I think it's going to pump. I think it's going to break out. I need this money for rent tomorrow. And then you chase it and it really wasn't an A+ setup and you get stopped out and you lose money and you can't pay rent. That's how you wind up chasing trades. So simple answer, never. As long as you are learning and you have not been consistently profitable for a decent amount of time, never rely on trading for consistent money until after you've made it. Right? If you're just learning, like simple answer, everyone always asks me, should I quit my job and focus full-time on learning how to day trade? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would recommend getting another job. I would recommend working your full-time job and getting another job at night to then add an extra job that brings in extra income that you can just put into your trading account. So let's say you make $100 a day at your day job, right? Start driving Uber, right? And get a second job and then do that at night, right? Then that money that you make just from Uber, right? Your full-time job can pay your bills, and then Uber can be your trading money that you consistently put into your account because when you're learning, you are going to have to pay that market tuition. You are very likely going to lose money in the beginning. This is why you do not want to rely on this to pay your rent, right? When you're learning, right? Obviously, when you start making money and you're profitable, you could obviously start paying bills. But I would recommend the opposite. Do not leave your day job to learn how to trade. So, hopefully that helps you out. That might not be what a lot of people want to hear, but it's the truth. I would recommend the opposite. Get another job. Have your bills paid by your day job, and then your second night job is just to put into your trading account because you're probably going to put $100 in, you're going to lose it, and you're going to have to refill it anyway, right? But Frankie, like, where am I going to have time to trade? Between the hours of 1 and 3 in the morning, right? At least that's how I did it, right? You got to want it. You got to want it bad. You got to want it bad, especially trading, because you're going to get spit in your face and the market's going to spit in your face and spit in your face and spit in your face. It's only the people who are able to push through that who make it out on the other side. I can promise you that. So yeah, shout out to Tales of Mystery. I don't know if you left your job to learn how to trade. I'm sure it's probably not the case, but I do get that question sometimes. Like, I'm gonna leave my job to learn how to trade. No, never in a million years. It's coming from a guy who has a YouTube channel based around trading, right? So if you take it from anybody, take it from me. Bad idea, because it's just going to increase the emotion. So hopefully that helps you out, Tails. And hopefully you're still here, because we did get to your super chat. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Sniper said, can this take more than 2 years or more? Shout out to Sniper. Everybody's different. I personally had a little bit of a longer journey because I'm thick-headed, right? I load the account up, blow the account, load the account up, blow the account, load the account up, blow the account, making the same mistakes. It's not like I was like, oh, let me fix this mistake, and I was just like, high leverage, I want to get rich overnight, blow up the account. All right, load the casino back up. Full leverage, let's get rich overnight, blow the account, right? Oh my God, I got lucky, I made some money. Let's put it all back in a high leverage trade, no stop loss. Let's get rich overnight, blow it all up, right? And I made that mistake 100 times. I would say realistically, shout out to Tales of Mystery, said thanks, really helpful. Of course, bro. Anytime. I blew many accounts doing exactly what you said. Yeah, I mean, I've been through it, right? Like, the only way I can relate so well is because I literally did it. In the worst way possible. Like I said, if I were, me 6 years ago in this chat, I'd be getting clowned because I just kept getting wrecked. I'd come in every day, be like, blow up another account, guys. I'd be like that guy. But yeah, I would say, it's all different. Some people's 2 years, some people's 1 year. For me, it was probably closer to the 2-year end, to be honest with you. I want to quit my job and trade so bad, then I get greedy and blow up my account for the 10 millionth time. Shout out to Blockchain Domain. I couldn't relate anymore, bro. I couldn't relate to that anymore. I totally get what that feels like, bro. Let's see. You a Taurus or an Aries? How did you know? Shout out to Crypto Sharknado. I am a Taurus. Shout out to Cade, said, love you, Frankie, bro. Shout out to Cade. I love you back, bro. Thank you for being here. Lost my job, decided I would start trading with 300 on my first trade, thought I was the smartest person in the world, and then proceeded to lose 10K. Shout out to Kill Gannon. Yeah, dude, I thought the same thing. I would get lucky on a trade, and I was like, pfft. I was like the stereotypical cringy like day trader like wannabe. I was like, you know, I'd make a little bit of money on one trade and then like look at people like, oh, 9 to 5ers. Meanwhile, I was literally wearing a clown mask. So yeah, I went through the whole thing. 100%. I know how that goes. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Sharknado. Yeah, one big red candle can set you back to zero, 100%. But shout out to Blockchain Domain. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you, Tales of Mystery. Great questions, guys, because this is important stuff. And, like, if you really want to do this, this is, like, the important stuff that you need to know. And really good questions to ask. Sniper said, what made you realize that and get away from this phase? Shout out, I said this actually earlier. I got bored. It's like, it wasn't even the pain, right? Because like I said, I was working a lot, right? So like, I would just like, I had a couple different gigs I was doing, and I would just like put a little more in, blow it. And I just got bored, right? It wasn't even the pain, right? Because luckily I didn't have a lot of money to start with. And so I couldn't really lose that much. I probably lost a lot over time. But it's not like I was loading it up with 10K, blowing 10K, loading it up with 10K, blowing 10K. Right? It was like small account sizes. So I just got bored, right? It wasn't even the pain because, again, I didn't have a lot of money. It was just the boredom. I was like, all I do is lose. Like, and even when I win, I lose. And I started to see, like, hey, I'm actually right about the analysis a lot. But I just hold on to the trade until it goes back to zero. So it really was just boredom, honestly. Shout out to Fabian, said, when is your birthday, Frankie? My birthday is in April. Shout out to Fabian. Coming up, baby. I don't know. Maybe we should do something. Maybe we should do something fun for my birthday. Maybe we'll do a meetup for my birthday. That'd be fire. But anyway, let's continue on here, guys. Let's take a look at H-bar. It's like I've been going on a lot of rants today. We spent a lot of time on Bitcoin too, especially because we got the pump. I did want to spend a little bit of extra time on there, but I am happy to answer all these questions, guys. But I do want to make sure we take a look at the charts as well. All right, so taking a look at H-bar. Let's take a look. Right, so obviously got some good news, starting to get a little bit of a pop to the upside. But I would say this, right? You got a nice little daily bullish divergence here, right? Like a little local one, right? Like a little local bull divellini, as I like to call them. Little lower low, little higher low, bada boom, right? This could potentially give you the push to the upside, but let me go ahead and pull up our actual H-bar chart with our levels, and you guys can see here, very similar to Ethereum, right? Which is, not to be unexpected. Let me just redo this. Okay. So this is our key level on H-bar, right? Because we knew if we lost this, very likely we would get a bigger drop down to, I would call it 15 cents. Right? Not what we want to see. And we have held that key level, 786 Fibonacci retracement. We tapped it, came up, came back down, front ran it. I mean, I would say, hey, listen, we are right below our doorway to higher prices / value area low. This is the key level to break, right? Every time we get it back up in here, we get up here, we fill the range in full, we come back up, we get accepted back into the range, back down to the low. Right, back in, we got to the POC, we get back out, right? So if we're able to get above this level, very clean TA here. If we can, and I'm actually going to redraw this box just so I can get it a little bit more accurate. Bada boom, right? So if we can get above that value area low, flip it to support, I would look for a push up into the POC at about 20 cents, flip that, look for a move up to the value area high, 23 cents. I would be cautious here, right? Obviously, with the way money flow looks on the higher time frames, we could be bullish, but I would say cautiously bullish, right? Cautiously optimistic, as we like to say. 2-day bullish divergence is printing as well. That's not a bad sign. And with the daily green dot printing, we can come on down to that 90-minute money flow and see what we got going on. We got that money flow crossover into the green. So you do have a little bit of a bear div here on the 90-minute. Higher highs, lower highs. Whoops. Higher highs with lower highs into the key level of resistance. We're getting a little pullback, but very similar to everything else. 90-minute money flow crossover into the green with the daily green dot would make me anticipate a continuation of the trend to the upside. So what would I be looking at here? I would be hoping for higher lows and higher highs. Doesn't mean that we can't pull back slightly. Can't tell where the high is here. Yeah. We could look for potential pullbacks, right? As we have the 90-minute red dot. Obviously, 4-hour red dot is looking to print as well, similar to Bitcoin. But with that daily green dot and the 90-minute money flow crossover, we might be able to get a little bit of a cool off here. I would be looking at, I wish we had a little bit of a cleaner range here. So yeah, I would probably look at this like local profile. If we get accepted under this POC at 19 cents, I would look for a bigger move into the value area low / golden pocket 786. This is just simply the level I would look for the higher low on, at least on the higher time frames. If we look at some more local levels, you could argue that maybe you want to look at, yeah, I mean, like right down here, like golden pocket 786. Yeah, I mean, you want to remember that this, larger profile is here because, again, this is the doorway to higher prices, like much higher prices. You break above this, like, you could be seeing a 20% rip to the upside. But locally, you could look at this local profile, right? So for me personally, like if I were going to be looking for a long on H-bar, I'd like to see what that 4-hour red dot gives us. If it pushes us down to this golden pocket value area low 786, this would be, level number 1, I'd look for a bounce. Golden pocket. Level number 2, Level number 2 would be the value area low, 786 golden pocket down below. So first off, 18 cents, almost 19 cents at that golden pocket. If you break down below that, I'd be looking between about, call it 18.186 to 0.185, right? So these are kind of the levels I would look at. I would obviously prefer the value area low, as it would be the bottom of the range, key support, but not impossible to bounce off the golden pocket either. I would really prefer to see that, though. I'd feel much more comfortable long and down here. And then, I mean, hyper local, too, right? Like, maybe you hold it here. Like, this would be, like, an honorable mention. I think that 4-hour red dot could push you underneath this, but honorable mention level if you're not going to get the bigger push through the profile, like, pretty much where we're at right now. But I don't know how I feel about that. I would rather see a little bit more of a cool off, to be honest. But at the end of the day, right, that's like if you're trying to catch every single little scalp. At the end of the day, really what you're looking for is a break of 19.5 cents and a hold of support. Get above there. Look for the push into the POC. Very simply put. And that's what I'd be looking at on H-bar. Let's take a look at ADA real quick. Come on. There we go. Yeah, Cardano just still kind of ping-ponging sideways here. You've now created a nice little local range. You could pull this as its own profile. But locally, we are stuck within this range. Remain, same thing that we've been looking at, right? Like, remain above this value area low. I would look for a potential move into the POC. Flip the POC, look to go to the high. But right now, your key support here is 71 cents. Yeah, like your 4-hour money flow is trying to come up. I think a lot of this stuff could potentially cool off, right? Like as I'm short on Bitcoin, I think this stuff could still potentially continue to cool off. Anything with a 4-hour red dot incoming could cool off a little bit more. 15-minute money flow is also coming out pretty nicely here for a potential continuation down. But really, 71 cents is the level to remain above, and hopefully you could put in some higher lows and continue to the upside, targeting the POC, again, sitting at 76 cents. And that's pretty much what I would be looking at on Cardano, right? Like if we go ahead and hide this range, right, you could potentially pull a little bit more of a local range, which I would probably pull to here. So if you pull from your low to your high, I mean, the level I would really like to see would be golden pocket, 786, value area low confluence. This is sitting between 71 and 70 cents. Hopefully we can, if you do continue to cool off, that would be the area I would probably be looking for a potential long in the context of this local range. And then if it breaks out more, we can look to get sucked up into that upper range, the larger volume profile that I just went over. So there you go. Yeah, shout out to Alexander says, unfortunately, you can't be a good trader if you haven't blown your account a few times. Absolutely. It's part of the journey. That's why I always say, when you start off, do not start off with like your life savings, right? Because you are very, very likely going to lose some money in the process. We call it market tuition, whatever you want to call it. Up 20K on AMD. Shout out to Mini Wraith. Shout out to you, bro. Congrats. Let's go. Up 20K on AMD. Can't hate on that. But let's see. Shout out to K Diggity said, you get a spine. You get a spine in that. You're like police. You're the like police. You're the like police, not you're the like police. Shout out to K Diggity. I misread that. Shout out to K Diggity. Let's see. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. I'll do one last check-in on Bitcoin, guys. We're already over. I bet you we're over. Oh, my God. Oh, actually, not too bad. We went for a full 2 hours. Didn't go super over. But, yeah, I mean, like, guys, this is the short position that we entered right before the stream. It's playing out pretty nicely. I would like this, next key level. If you guys missed the key levels on Bitcoin, just make sure you go back to the beginning of the stream. We talk about all the key levels I would hope to put a higher low in at, and the targets for this short. The first major target would be this golden pocket sitting around 86,750 down to about 86,627. So hopefully we could see that continue to play out. Hit that next target to the downside. If we break down below that, I'll be looking to take that down to the 786. And if we come to the golden pocket, I'll lock in some profits, move my stop loss to break even for a guaranteed winning trade. That way, if we come up, stop me out. I will take that take that loss as a win. Right? I'll actually make some money. And if we do continue down, we can let that continue to pay us out. Right? So yeah, we earlier today on the market update, we looked for the 4-hour red dot to give us a cool off, and here it is. And we are indeed making money off of it, which ain't too shabby. Up about $1,000. Not too bad. Just like that, baby. Just like that. About $101,000 position. So could play out a good bit more, right? Yeah. And if we wind up getting this move, let me see here. Let me hide the short. No, I don't have the. Yeah, I don't have the other key levels, but yeah, like first levels, I would be looking at obviously going to be that golden pocket. Whoops. Like pull that back up. Boom. Right, so golden pocket. Let me bring up the higher time frames. Golden pocket 786. If we continue down, that'd be the next target, in my opinion. Right, that's pulled from this low here at about 85.6. And then if we do continue down just a little bit more, I will be looking at. Yeah, this anchored VWAP is pretty close as well. But if we pull from the actual low to the high, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if we can make it a little closer to 85.6, just under the 786 would be another big target, and then down to the golden pocket 786 between about 85.3 and 84.3. If you guys missed those key levels, go to the beginning of the stream. I show you exactly what we'd be looking for on the way down here and where we are hoping that the higher lows will come in at, right? Because we're hoping that with the money flow on the 4-hour, we can hold these higher lows and continue the move to the upside, because the money flow would potentially point towards a continuation to the value area high. Value area also calling for a potential move towards the value area high at 89.5. If we continue up, 89.5 is the next target. Above that, the next target is going to be $91,300. So just go watch the beginning of the stream. We cover everything in massive detail. And yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at. Let me come in on chat one more time here. Yo, shout out to K Diggity. Said Frankie always catches me like that for some reason, like in the middle of like a random message that doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like there's I feel like that does happen often. Shout out to K Diggity. Yo, what's good, fam? Shout out to Ash. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. Shout out to Uncle Jesse. Said, I think you are, Rob. Rob says, Jay Violet, I've had physical contact with an Australian girl once, and am I part of the club as well? Hey, yo, shout out to Rob. Jay Violet, he's got to be part of the club, right? You got to let him in. Lol, Rob. Yeah, but Rob's got to be a part of the... Let's go. Shout out to Rob, the crypto snob. But guys, we still love you, Frankie. Shout out to K Diggity. Yeah, sometimes I just get caught in the middle of these like random chats. But yeah, that's what we're looking, guys. That's what we're looking at, guys. It's Monday, guys. Bear with me. But that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin, guys. We took a look at some of the alts, and we covered some really, really, really important trading stuff that I think a lot of people need to hear, even if it's a tough pill to swallow. If you want to make it in this trading game, guys, you got to take the truth. You can't get, sold a fake dream. You can get rich trading, but it is not a get rich quick and easy scheme. If it were, it would be too good to be true, which is good, because if it was too good to be true, it wouldn't be possible. And the fact that it takes hard work and discipline and it is, makes it real, right? It makes it possible. So yeah. But with all that being said, shout out to Rob the Crypto Stop. Shout out to eGenerate. Shout out to Jay Violet. Shout out to LER. Shout out to E Kai. Shout out to K Diggity. Shout out to IKK Kevin. Says Render. We'll take a look at Render and Jasmine tomorrow, guys. I am over time. I got to run out of here. But yeah, we'll take a look at Rob, if you could add Render and Jasmine to the chart, to the altcoin list tomorrow, that would be super helpful, and we'll cover that for the Mafia tomorrow. Shout out to CJ. I fell asleep. Do it over again. Shout out to CJ. Shout out to K Diggity. Shout out to Hollywood 25. Shout out to Philly Skills. Shout out to Pennywise. Shout out to the mod. Show them some love in the chat on the way out, guys. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Make sure you subscribe and you hit those notifications so you don't miss those next moves on Bitcoin, because if you saw that update earlier today, you would have been early to this little push to the downside. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a